Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, Hare Krishna, welcome to all of you. So today's Bhagavad Gita session. So I hope all of you understood the 7th chapter and also revised and went through the lectures once again and make the notes and also made the notes for the question bank and also classroom questions. So I hope you all did, and otherwise you will do. Okay. So today we are going to start new chapter. So we have another 2 more chapters in my account. That means I have to teach. So and I have 6 days, total 2 chapters. Each chapter is having, so 28 and 34, total 62 slokas are there and 6 days are there. So still the target is reasonable looking. So 62 slokas and 6 days. So maybe each day 10 slokas if I try, then I will be keeping my promise to your course coordinator, that is Sajay Damodar Prabhu. So I really need all of your cooperation. Yeah, I was thinking to take some time, and if it is too much time consuming, then I will lose my time actually. So anyone want to revise within 5 minutes or 7 minutes? Can we try? Shall I try? Now 7:12 and 7:20, 8 minutes. Okay, we'll see. Who is going to start revising the 7th chapter? So the way it was taught in the class. So who is going to start this? Who will be the leader of the class? Yes, Sundar Nitai Prabhu, start.
Okay. I'll try to go quickly, Prabhu, but I don't know if I'll be able to finish everything or not.
No.
So
It is a marathon. You will be starting and you'll be going explaining sequentially, not the here and there randomly.
yeah.
And whenever I say stop, then you'll be stopping and I'll be asking another one.
Okay. So
Start.
basically, yeah. So the first verse starts about when we reach the asakti stage. Before Asakti stage, we know about Aishwarya Gyan, and after Asakti stage, we'll know about the Madhurya Gyan. And Krishna says that if you follow yoga or jnana process, it is doubtful that you will know me. And basically, by following bhakti, you will have like complete realization about me. So the main point is jnana marga is doubtful. Brahma jnana is also partial. So basically, bhakti is the only way to know Krishna completely without doubt. The second thing basically Krishna says is uh, then basically he says about the Aishwarya Gyan and the Madhurya Gyan, and I will now explain you about that in full. And when you know these two things, there is nothing else to be known. Basically, what it means is these Aishwarya Gyan and Madhurya Gyan are basically the principles. The details could be many things because we cannot understand Krishna completely. But with these two, we can see everything in relationship with Krishna, and it will also give us uh, the impersonal knowledge is also obtained by these two processes. So we don't need to go and acquire any other forms of knowledge.
Yes.
Then basically Krishna says that among all the jivas, uh, it's very rare to get bhakti, and only one person has the realization of Sham Sundar. So he says that among countless jivas, only one gets the human body, and among those who get the human body, very few try for perfection of spiritual knowledge, and among those, only one will know the Sham Sundar form.
Yes, that is a Madhurya Gnana.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then number 4, basically Krishna talks about the 8 elements, which we should consider as 24 elements. Basically, it's all the 5 gross elements, sense objects, and then knowledge acquiring senses, and Gyanendriyas and Karmendriyas, and then mind, intelligence, and Mahatattva. So basically, Krishna is saying about that. And then Krishna is saying that in basically these are all his prakriti, basically inferior energy. Next verse he's saying about his superior energy, which is jivas, because jivas have the consciousness to use this prakriti and enjoy. That's why he's calling them as the superior energy. That's why they're superior energy, basically.
Yeah.
Number 6 is basically he's saying that he's the creator, and he destroys everything because all the creations are because of his because of these 24 elements. So he's the creator, and after destroying, everything goes back into him. So he is basically the creator and destroyer of everything. And 7.7, basically he's saying that there is no one superior to him. Here we are basically defeating the Advaitavad philosophy, where they think that impersonal Brahman is above the personal form. When Brahman reflects on Maya, then Ishvara comes, and when it reflects on Antakarna, Jivas comes. And when there is no Maya, basically there is no Jiva, and there is no Ishwar, so only Brahman will be left. And Krishna is saying that that is wrong. Beyond the impersonal Brahman, my personal form is there. So basically, that's how we are defining the Mayavadi
nice.
philosophy.
Nice, bro.
And
nice. Yeah, thank you very much. Really good.
okay.
So very nice. So who will continue this from here? Really nice, Prabhu Sundaranitha, bro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah, Dasarathi, Prabhu. Continue. Prabhu, can you unmute? We are not able to hear you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Krishna is telling test 7 that knowing this, there is nothing, whatever knowledge I'm telling, everything is from me only. So these are I am so whatever I'm telling, this is the ultimate. There is nothing superior to this, and all these are depends on me. Just like the thread is a garland, all the pearls are supported on the threads. Similarly,
Yes.
whatever the oysters are there, they are resting on me.
Yes. Next.
Then from sloka, then from text 18, whatever his energies are there, he's telling. So from here, he's telling that he's the taste of the water and the pranab of the sound, and he's the ability of the man. So from this, Krishna is started explaining the Achinta Vedaved philosophy. So from test 8, 9, 10, 11, because it's just like he can light are non-different from the lamp and simultaneously different from the lamp also. So similarly, is telling that the taste of the water, ability of the man, and pranab of the sound, they are different. Again, they are one with me. And test 9 is telling that the smell of the earth and spark of the fire and all the ability of the tapasvi, it also on me.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. So who will continue from here? Shampriya Mataji.
From which verse you ended, Prabhu?
From 9th. You can
9th.
continue from 9. Yeah.
Now, from the 8th verse, Krishna is explaining the Aishwarya Gyan, and because already in the first verse he told that Maya Shakta, that means that he's talking about the Asakti. So till the Asakti level is Aishwarya Gyanam. So in this chapter, Krishna will talk about the Aishwarya Gyan. So in the 8th verse, Krishna is started telling about his opulences, and in the 8th verse, Krishna is telling that the smell is telling about it vibhutis, and because of that, because of the Lord's Shakti in that, the object has that quality. So, and also Krishna is telling that that I'm maintaining this universe and taking care of that. Because of that, the object doesn't lose its property. So, and every particle he's seeing, that every particle he's seeing, and that's why every substance has its quality. So like that, he's telling that in 8, 9, 9th also, from the qualities, Krishna is telling that we have to understand the presence of the Lord everywhere. So in the 9th also he's telling about that. In the 10th also, he's telling that Bijam and the seed of all existences. That means he's telling that Krishna is the root of everything. And then in the 11th, Krishna is telling that I'm the strength of the strong and devoid of passion and desire. So in that, till the 11th, he's telling about the energy and the energetic, that they are one and different. Achinta Veda Tattva he's talking about, and we have to accept it because we are not able to think that Shakti is one different from Shaktiman. That's why we have to, because we're not able to think, that's why we have to accept the principle. Yeah. So, and in the 12th, Krishna is telling that anything that is appearing out of the modes, maybe it's mode of goodness or passion or ignorance, that also are manifesting from me only. So I'm inside everything, but then I'm inside all these things, but they are not in me. So let me explain. Shall I get more explanation, or shall I still?
Enough. Go, Mataji.
Yeah. So, and then on the 13th verse, Krishna is telling that even I'm everything. I'm telling people that I'm this, I'm the taste and water and everything. Then also they don't know me. Why? Because they're entrapped by the 3 modes, and that cover their knowledge. So that's why they cannot know my real nature. And then Krishna is telling in the 14th verse that because of the what is the 14th verse? And consisting of this. Then Krishna is telling that because they are covered by the 3 modes of nature, they do not know me. And then 14 verse, Krishna is telling that how can they cross this? How can they overcome these 3 modes of nature? Only by surrendering unto me only, and not surrendering to the guna avtaras, only by surrendering unto the swamsha, that is Sakshat Para Brahmatvam. Then only they will be liberated from this, liberated, and then only they can come out from Maya, and not otherwise. And then in the 15th, and in the 15th verse, Krishna is telling that, but who cannot surrender unto me? The Mudas, the Naradamas, the Maya Partagyana, and the Dushkritas, they cannot surrender unto me. He's telling to Arjuna. And then he's telling that who can surrender? The 4 people can surrender. That is the Artha, Jigyasu, Artharthi, and the Jnani. They are among them, the Artha, Jigyasu, and Artharthi are the Sakam that is Karma Mishra Bhaktas, and the Jnani is Gyan Mishra Bhaktas. And then in the 17th verse, Krishna is telling, in the 16th verse, Krishna is telling that these four can surrender. And in the 17th verse, he's telling that among the four, the Jnani is most dear to me. Because why Jnani is most dear to me? Because he doesn't want material desires.
Yes.
Yeah. No, sorry. In the 16th, he's telling about the four things, and in the 17th, Krishna is telling that among them, Jnani is making the comparison of the four, and among them, Jnani is the best, right? Because he's not desiring any material things, and also he's able to control the senses in the mind. And that's why he's more dear to me compared to the others. Then the 18th, Krishna is further telling that, but Jnani is best also, but Jnani is my soul also. Because he's not desiring anything and worshipping me without desiring anything. That's why he's my soul. But as you said, that Kevala Bhakta is more than the soul, because Krishna is considering Kevala Bhakta more than the soul. Then in the 19th verse, Krishna is telling that Krishna is telling that Bhaunam Janmanamante, like till then he told that Jnani is my soul. Now he's telling that among many births who actually surrenders unto me, that is very rare, and who knows that Vasudeva is everything, will attain the Santa Rasa, because he has not developed any personal relationship, and he's understanding this Krishna is the root of everything, and that is very rare actually. But because he has not developed any personal relationship, that's why he will not attain Goloka. He will attain only Shanta Rasa.
Yes.
Then in 20th,
he will not attain any personal relationship. Yeah, he will not be able to see the Krishna as a friend or a master or the lover or the son, like that.
Yeah. And then in the 20th, again, Krishna is referring that earlier also he's told that even though I'm everything, then also they are not knowing me because they are covered by the three modes of Nitya later. Now
One
Krishna
second,
is again
stop, Mother. Yeah, wait. So I will ask others to continue from here.
Yeah.
Then after that, what he wants to say? Who will tell? Who gave the yesterday's names? Yeah, Krishna Prabhu, please.
So in the next word, 20th verse and words, Krishna is explaining about those who don't surrender to him, that those who don't belong to these above categories. There are some that who have got material form,
Desires, yes.
but they have material desires. They go to demigods for fulfilling
but
their
they are not going to Krishna,
desires.
But
They don't go to Krishna, but they go to demigods. Because their intelligence is carried away by these material desires.
Yes.
So in the next shloka, 21st, 22nd, Krishna is telling that even if they want to go to demigods and get their desires fulfilled, the faith, it is given by him only. Even the demigods cannot give that faith also for them to worship. So that is what and the next shloka, 23rd, Krishna says, men of small intelligence. So the kind of what by demigod worship, the characteristics of demigod worship is explaining actually. Only people with small intelligence, they worship demigods, and the results are temporary, and they go to demigods planets. That's what is explaining. But they cannot go to they cannot go beyond this.
In the 22nd, he is saying demigod worshippers will demigods will not give the result of the result for them also. So that result also
the result is also given by Krishna. The faith and result both are given by Krishna.
Yeah, that means some people, they went to the demigods, but to maintain their steady faith, that is possible by only Krishna, and demigods cannot do. Yeah, continue.
In the 23rd verse, Krishna, demigod worshippers, characteristics of demigod worship, that only people with small intelligence, less intelligence, they worship demigods, and the results obtained are temporary. And those worshippers,
less intelligent because the result whatever is given by the demigods is very temporary, and also if you see the reaching them also, it's not permanent place, their place.
Permanent
Even
place.
if one reaches to them, they will be falling, coming out
Falling
again.
again.
So
They
but
will
in
be in
my case
material
it's not
world.
different. That's why we are worshipping them. So they are alpamedasaha because of these all
Alpamanas.
reasons. Whatever shraddha they cannot give, they cannot give the any result also. Yeah, next.
Yeah, and then next sloka 24th is explaining about another type of person who don't surrender to him. Actually,
Yeah.
in this chapter, Krishna in 3 places explains about those who don't surrender. In 13th shloka, and then here demigod worshippers, and in 24th shloka also, the kind of people who don't surrender to him.
Yeah.
So they
Who
are
it is?
Prabhuji?
24 whom he discussed.
Param means whoever
Mayavadis.
attains me, who don't have faith.
Mayavadis actually.
Maya,
24
Yeah,
he is
yeah.
discussing about it. They are thinking that the avyaktam is the ultimate and
Yes.
Krishna's form is just
Temporary
that means,
manifestation.
yeah, it's
This
material
material
manifestation.
manifestation of
Maya manifestation. Yeah.
yeah, Maya manifestation in material world. So they think
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's why they
I will,
cannot
yes, Prabhu, thank
reach
you.
him.
I will ask next. So who is going to continue? From 24 onwards, they can try. Yes, Mohan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvatana. So, from in 21st shloka, Lord Krishna is telling about impersonalists who are also known as Mayavadis, and what they do think that is also described that they think that Lord Krishna is just reflection on Maya of Brahman, and when the Maya is finished, then the existence of Krishna is also finished. So
Yes.
they are thinking like this, and Krishna is also saying in this verse that they do not know the bhav. Here, a specific word bhav is also mentioned, that it means Krishna's nature, and Krishna's activities, form, etc. are beyond three modes and are transcendental. So
Very
they
nice.
don't accept this, and they also don't know this. So after this, one question also comes in the mind, that here Lord Krishna is telling that he is ever existing and he is always primeval, his form is always there, but why we cannot see him? So in the 25th verse, he is telling that Krishna is covered by his eternal energy for who are foolish, and everyone cannot see him, though he is ever existing and he is present and performing leelas. Krishna is always present in Vrindavan, but because he is covered by his internal energy, the unintelligent and foolish person cannot see him. Here there is an example that like sun rotates along Sumeru Parvat, and when sun is at the backside of Sumeru Parvat, we cannot see it. That is like that only when Krishna is covered by his own permission. When Krishna is covered by eternal energy, no one can see him. And like Jiva is covered through Mahamaya, his intelligence.
Yeah, continue. Next sloka. Good. That is enough actually. You did very nice job. Yes.
Thank you. And in text 26, here Lord Krishna is telling that Krishna knows everyone or everything done in past, present, and future, but no one knows Krishna as he is covered from Yog Maya.
Yes.
Even great personalities like Shivji and other Vaishnavas, great personalities, could not know Krishna and his qualities completely. They know with from some extent, but do not know completely. Even he himself do not know complete about himself. And in text 27, because some people are bewildered by dualities which are caused by love and hate from beginning from when they are in the material world, from Karunodaksha Vishnu, and these love and hate are because of their impression of past lives, and which make him desire and
Mm.
think that material thing is favorable or unfavorable. So
Mm.
favorable thing creates love and unfavorable create hate, which are the dualities one in here. And because of these all are because of previous karma, and because of all these dualities, people
Mm.
are in the people are in delusion.
Mm.
And yes,
Yes,
Guruji, you also told
that's
about
why they
that.
are getting the material body. Yeah.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Here, Guruji also told that karmi, one who are too attached to material world, really cannot understand Krishna, or jnanis like too renounced,
Yes.
they also cannot understand Krishna. So in next in text 28, he's told by pious activity Satogun cannot bring out bhakti. Here Krishna also addressed pious activities. Why Krishna is addressing that? So the
In
requirement of
27, 27, what else that means is explained in the 27. So you said last line, that is, can you repeat? That's nice. That is important. In
yes,
27,
Prajit.
who? Mm. Mm.
Uh, 1 second, Prajit. Yes, Prabhuji. So, a devotee who is not too attached or detached for material world and have interest in hearing Hari Katha can do devotional service. So, here Lord is actually explaining who cannot do, who is not eligible to do devotional service.
Yes.
And in text 28, he was telling that one should do pious activities, but we also see that pious by doing pious activities we cannot get bhakti. We can only get bhakti through association of Vaishnavas. But what is understanding? We should understand that association of Vaishnava is required for person not having many offenses. Less offenses is required. Person who are having less offenses, but a person who are not a person who are having many offenses cannot become devotee immediately through association. Or it needs special mercy. So a person having many offenses should first do pious activities, and then it helps person reduce the influence of the offenses, not the offenses itself. The
No, no,
influence of
person who
offenses
had the
is.
many offenses, how he will become devotee? So what is the process? If one is having the many offenses, and that's why he's getting material attachment. So then how he will become devotee?
Yes, Proji, by doing pious activities,
No, no, no.
his
Before that, one
influence
more
of.
step is there. So by undergoing the suffering for the lot of, that means many births. So by that, the influence of the offenses will be reduced.
Yes, Proji. So he will get the association of devotees, and
Influence of, no, 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 wait, come step by step. Influence of their offenses is reduced, and then there is a good some chance is there to do the, that means getting the doing the, that
yes,
means good karma. So
yes,
since he already suffered for the bad karma, so then so there is a good because the influence of that bad karma and offenses is reduced by the suffering. So then some good chance is there to do the pious karma. So in that, so by the pious karma, being in situated in the goodness, so by doing the pious karma, so if he gets the association at that time, so then he can become devotee.
yes, Proji.
Hmm.
And in text 30, it describes there are
29,
actually 6 kind of devotees here
29,
in
29,
seven.
29.
Sorry, Proji, sorry. Wait, 28.
So next, who will tell? Mahesh.
Hare Krishna.
Unmute.
Saurabh Prabhu speaking.
29.
The 29, Krishna described another kind of devotee. That is, before the 4 kind of devotee, Sakama devotee, there is explained in with mixed intention. Devotee is mixed with desire and liberation, with birth and death. Like one who, due to intelligent desire, desire freedom from old age and disease, takes shelter of
29 is explaining about whom?
pure devotee.
No. Annapurna Mata. Continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, in text number 29, here Krishna is explaining about the Mokshakami Bhakta. Up till now, he had explained all the three types of Bhaktas. And the three types of Bhaktas are the Sakama Bhakta because they are coming for Artha, Arthaksha and Jignasa. So these three types are coming for their desires, but they are also liked. But now Krishna is explaining about the Mokshakami Bhakta because this Mokshakami Bhakta is an intelligent person and who is going to strive to come out of the cycle of birth and death, and he wants liberation. He doesn't want any relationship with Krishna, but he wants only the liberation so that he'll be in the Shantaras, Prabhuji. And
No. He is not the Jnani Mataji. So he is just a Mokshakami. So but he is surrendering to he is worshipping the Lord to get the moksha. By that, what is going to happen? Krishna is saying.
Prabhuji, he knows the realization of Brahman and the self of Krishna, no Prabhuji.
He knows Brahman and he knows self and he will be knowing the karma. That is the point. That much only.
He knows also
Jnani is
that.
the go. He is just a mokshakami. But we are not discussing. Santarasa will be achieved by the Jnanis. But he is just a mokshakami and approaching to the Lord. So that by that approach he will be knowing the Brahman. He will be knowing the the self, and also he is knowing the karma. Okay, last.
And in 30, Krishna is explaining that all the manifestations, those who are full conscious of me and who knows me, the Supreme Lord, to be governing principle of material manifestation.
You are reading the translation.
Prabhu, this is what no Prabhu, because here Krishna is explaining about all the 6 type of devotees, no Prabhu.
Yes. So whoever is worshipping him, so they will be knowing what?
They'll be knowing about the 4 types of Sakama Bhakta, and also they'll be knowing about the Jnanis, and they'll be knowing about Kevala Bhaktas, no Prabhu.
No. So whoever is worshipping, till now, how many people we have seen? 6 kinds of the devotees we have seen. All those 6 kinds of the devotees are knowing what? They are knowing the Adi Bhutam, Adi Daivam, Adi Yagnam. And also they will be knowing while leaving this body, they will be knowing the Krishna.
That is they'll be knowing the Swarupa of the Krishna, no Prabhu.
You tell me once again now, in 30th sloka, what is the content? Tell me now.
Prabhuji, here Krishna is explaining about the 4 types of Sakama Bhakta, that is Artho, Jignasa, Ardhati, Mokshakami. And also here Krishna is saying about Jnani and Kevala Bhakta, Prabhu.
Okay. He is explaining about them. No. He is explaining that they will be knowing. So Adi Daivam, Adi Yagnam, and Adi Bhutam.
Because they'll be knowing everything.
He is explaining that they will be knowing this because they are worshipping him.
Yes. Adi Daivam, Adi Bhutam, and Adi Yagnam. Everything starts from me. Krishna is explaining, Prabhuji. All the sacrifices, all the demigods, and all the governing sacrifices.
Yes. So that means in this 30th sloka, all the 6 kinds of devotees who are explained in this chapter, they will be knowing. So Adi Bhutam, Adi Daivam, Adi Yagnam. Okay, now we'll be continuing 8th chapter. So Arjuna Vacha. Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama Adi Bhutam cha kim proktam Adi Daivam kim uchyate. So translation, Maheshwar, yes.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Goodness, Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada. Arjun inquired. Arjun. Arjun inquired, "O my
Hmm.
lord, O supreme person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me."
Hmm. Okay, thank you. So in this, Arjuna is asking questions. So if you carefully observe in the last chapter, it is connection, it is having this chapter. In the last chapter, what Krishna is saying, the person who is trying to get the liberation, so they will be, so he is also worshipping the Lord. And ultimately he is saying that means whoever worshipping him, they will be knowing the Brahman, they will be knowing the Adhyatmam, that means they will be knowing the Karma, they will be knowing the Adidaivam, Adibhutam, Adiyajnam. And also they will be knowing at the time of leaving their body, they will be knowing the Lord. How many things they are knowing? 7 things they are knowing. How many? 7 things. So what are those 7 things? Brahman. See in the 29th sloka of the 7th chapter. So Jara Marana Mokshaya Mamashitya Yatanti. So that means whoever, that means ultimately these 6 kinds of the devotees. So they will be knowing. So especially in the case of the person who is trying for the liberation, he will be knowing what? Brahman. He will be knowing the Adhyatmam, and he will be knowing the Karma. What is Adhyatmam? Those things you just keep it Sanskrit word now itself, but we'll explain that in the next chapter, that is the 8th chapter. So please just note down. So so write a question on the 7th chapter only. So the final question actually. What are the things are known by the 6 kinds of devotees explained in this chapter? What are the various things known by the devotees who are explained by Krishna in this chapter? So what are those? Answer is, those 6 kinds of devotees are knowing. So first one, Brahman, Adhyatmam, Karma, Adidhaivam, Adibhutam, Adhiyagnam. And finally, they will be knowing the Krishna at the time of leaving their body. Prayana kale picha mam te viduhu. They will also know Krishna at the time of leaving the body. How many things? 7 things. So now you see carefully. This Krishna already said in the 7th chapter. Now Arjuna is asking, Kim tat Brahma? Kim tat Brahma? What is that Brahman? Kim Adhyatmam? What is Adhyatmam? Kim Karma? What is the Karma? Kim Adibhutam? What is Adibhutam? So Adidhaivam Kim? What is Adidhaivam? So Proktam, that means whatever you said already. What is these are all? And next sloka also you see. Adiyajnah katam kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katam gneyosi niyatatmabihi. In second sloka he is saying, once again Krishna, Arjuna is asking. So what is asking? So Adiyajnah katam kotra dehesmin. So how Adiyajna is in this body? That means he's asking about the Adiyajna. And in the last in that second sloka, last line, if you see, prayana kale cha katham gneyosi, at the time of the death, so how this jivatma is knowing that adiyagnam, how he knows about the adiyagnam. Okay, these are the things. Okay, understood what Arjuna asked? Srimati Mataji, tell what you understood.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, Arjuna is asking based on the chapter 7 that what are the various things that 6 devotees that we discussed will know. And so these are Brahman and Adhyatma, which is transcendental. Adhyatmam, Karma, and Adi Devam, Adi Bhutam, Adi Jnanam,
Adibhutam, Adidaivam,
Adhibhutam, Adhidevam, Adhigyanam, and
Adi Jnanam, no, Adi Yajna. Adi Yagnam.
Adi Yagna, which is sacrifice, and well, at the end they will know Krishna at the time of death.
So how they will know Krishna at the time of the leaving their body?
Yeah.
How they will know Krishna at the time of leaving their body? Because he said already, Krishna said that at the time of leaving their body, they will know me. So then how they will know? So
How
that
they will
question he asked.
Okay.
So how that whole flow is going, you should know the chapter, how it is starting. From the 6th chapter, 7th chapter, how it is started. So one should know. So the flow is what? Till 6th chapter is explained about the Jnanis and Yogis. Now in this next 6 chapters, so he's going to explain about the Karma Mishra Bhakti and the Bhakti. So that's why, and at the end of the 6th chapter, he was mentioning out of all these yogis, so compared to all these yogis, Bhakta, Bhakti yoga is the supermost, he said. Then he started explaining about that Bhakti yoga. So that first sloka is telling about the Kevala Bhakti. So in that Kevala Bhakti, so by doing the Kevala Bhakti, one will be getting the Aishwarya Gnanam and so also Madhurya Gnanam. Till the stage of Asakti, one will be getting the Aishwarya Gnanam. After Asakti, if they continue from the Bhava onwards, they will be getting the Madhurya Gnanam. So that's why he is going to explain these two Gnanams, two kinds of the knowledge. So like that, then anyway, we started this. So that whole chapter we summarized. Then at the ending of that chapter, what he said, so person who is trying for the liberation, he will be knowing the Brahman and Adi Atmam, Adhyatmam and Karma. And also he's saying that finally, all the devotees, so whoever is worshipping, they will be knowing Adhibhutam, Adhidaivam, Adhiyagnam. And also they will be knowing at the time of the leaving their body, the Lord. So these are the things he said. Now, so now the question, he has to answer the questions given by the questions asked by the Arjuna now. So first of all, what is Brahman? That has to be answered. And what is Adhyatmam? That has to be answered. What is Karma? That has to be answered. So in the first Sri Bhagavan Vacha, if you see, so in that sloka, he's explaining, so these three things. So anyway, we'll see the purport now, just in quickly. In this chapter, Lord Krishna answers different questions from the Arjuna, beginning with the what is Brahman. The Lord also explains karma, devotional service, and yoga principles, and devotional service in its pure form. Anyway, I forgot to mention one more point. So in this chapter, that means in one-line summary, the one-line summary of this chapter, I should explain. I should just mention. So I just forgot to mention this. So I am coming to that. So one-line summary by the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur of this chapter. So please write your question. So what is the one-line summary of? So chapter number 8 given by the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay, the same thing Prabhupada is also mentioning here. So in the purport, so just one line summary is by the sloka we can see. So he is saying, so Partha Prashnottaram Yogam Mishram Bhaktim Prasangataha Shuddham cha Bhaktim Provacha Dvegate Api cha Astame. Okay. So what is the meaning of this? So in this chapter, Yoga Mishra Bhakti is explained. First of all, write this. In this chapter, Yoga Mishra Bhakti is explained. And also Shuddha Bhakti is being explained in this. Both he explained in this. That means after, why he explained, why all of a sudden he started Yoga Mishra Bhakti here. And after that, he also explained the Shuddha Bhakti. These two things. Because questions are asked by the Arjuna, Adhyatma, Adhidayam, Adhibhutam. But what made him to explain Yoga Mishra Bhakti? That is a suspense actually, that we should know. So till now we have seen the 7th chapter, Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Yes. Now in this chapter, we are going to study about Yoga Mishra Bhakti and Shuddha Bhakti. Okay. So then what? That is already a chapter summary. But why Krishna went to that Yoga Mishra Bhakti? What is the reason? So, but chapter is starting with the questions asked by the Arjuna, Adidaivam, Adibhutam, Adhyatma, so and so. And while explaining, then what made him to explain the Yoga Mishra Bhakti? And after that, he is also explaining about the Kevala Bhakti. That we have to see. That is our target. Okay, you should get the overall picture of the whole chapter, how the whole chapter is going. So, Prabhupada, what he is writing, Lord also explains karma, devotional service, and yoga principles. Yoga principles means Yoga Mishra Bhakti. And devotional service in its pure form. Are you seeing? Lord explains karma, fruitive activities, devotional service, and yoga principles, and devotional service in its pure form. That means Lord is going to explain whatever the questions asked by the Arjuna in this chapter, and also is going to explain the yoga principles means Yoga Mishra Bhakti. And also here, so one more point, what? So he's going to explain the pure devotional service. That's the Kevala Bhakti. Try to understand the Prabhupada purport. Okay, it's the Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the supreme absolute truth is also known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In addition to the living entity, the individual soul is also called Brahman. Individual soul is called Brahman. This is the concept he took from the Baldev Bhushan actually. So we are going to see the two different explanations for the Brahman by the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Bhushan. So Prabhupada is writing Baldev Bhushan's opinion here. So Brahman means what? Here. So Jivatma is also sometimes called as Brahman. And Paramatma, the absolute truth, is also known as Parabrahman. So sometimes you can see in the scriptures, the word Brahman is also used for the Jivatma. Okay. So anyway, that is another point. Now just I will be explaining that later. So in addition, the living entity, individual soul is also called Brahman, and also Arjuna also inquires about the Atma, which refers to the body, soul, and mind. According to the Vedic dictionary, Atma refers to the mind, soul, body, and senses. Also, Arjuna has addressed the Supreme Lord as Purushottama, Supreme Person, which means that he was putting these questions not simply to a friend, but to the Supreme Person. Supreme Person, knowing him to be the Supreme Authority, able to give definitive answers. So here Prabhupada is mentioning Purushottama. That means Arjuna, how he is addressing Krishna. Oh Purushottama, oh Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the potential enough in explaining these things. So please answer me. Okay. Second sloka, we are going to the purport. Second sloka also is continuing the questions, remaining first three questions asked in the first sloka, and next four questions is asking. Sorry, in the first 5 questions he asked, what is Brahman, what is Adhyatma, what is Karma, what is Adibhutam, what is Adidaivam. And in the second sloka, another 2 questions, total 7 questions. So list out the 7 questions asked by the Arjuna. Write the question now. Maybe some questions matching with your handbook, don't worry. So if it is matching, let it be, but please write. So list out the 7 questions asked by the Arjuna in 8.1 and 2. Okay.
Roji, please repeat.
Now, please repeat. List out the 7 questions asked by Arjuna in 8.1 and 2. So Lord sacrifice. So may here you see now Adi Yagnam means. So what is the translation? Who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in body? Oh Madhusudana. That means Adi Yagna, who is Adi Yagna and how he lives in the body. And next point is how the Jivatma, when he leaves that body, he knows him. How it is possible? Katam neyasi. How Jivatma knows? Katam Jivatma, how the Jivatma is knowing that? Katam Gneyosi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ha Mataji.
Prabhuji, this is Adi Yajna means how it is leaving the body or how it will be in the body.
Mataji, Adi Yagnam means not Adi Yagnam. First of all, it is Adi Yagnam. So Adi Yagnaha. So how he is living in the body, and when Jivatma is leaving that body, so he is knowing that. that person? That also 2 questions.
2 questions. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So now that word prayana kale in this verse is very significant, because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. So what should be their position at the final moment? At the time of death, all the bodily functions are disrupted and the mind is not in a proper condition. This thus disrupted by the bodily situation, one may not be able to remember the Supreme Lord. So Maharaj Kulakshekara, so a great devotee, prays. So here, that's why anxiety actually, this suspense actually for the Arjuna. He's feeling so much suspense. Because at the time of death, everyone is in an awkward condition. If you see the 3rd canto of in the 30th chapter of the 3rd canto, at the time of the death, how the Jivatma's condition, all the 9 holes are filled with the mucus. And he's not able to take breath also. And his body is digested. And he is not able to remember anything. And he's not able to speak. All the relatives are surrounding to him. And he's not able to see properly, identify the people, and also having the desire to speak with them and tell many things. I kept this much, this many lakhs of rupees there in that bank. He wants to share, because till last minute he might be thinking that, yeah, maybe I may leave, so I should not reveal my secret. Let it me keep with me only, everything. Now he's coming to know that. So he's about to leave. So I want to tell, but he cannot tell. So such a horrible condition actually, at the time of the death. So then in that horrible condition, how Jivatma is able to remember and know Lord? That means what Krishna is saying, whoever is practicing devotion, that means Karma Mishra Bhakti, Gnana Mishra Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, any bhakti they do, so they are able to remember him. So he said like that already. So how they are able to remember? How it is possible? What is the way of remembering? How they will be knowing, not remembering actually, how they will be knowing at the time of the death? In what shape they will be knowing? So that is the question actually by the Arjuna. So Kulashekar also is just expressing that. If you can read that that last few lines. So okay, we'll go to the next sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavoddhavakaro Visarga Karma Sangitaha. Now our Supreme Personality, our Krishna, is going to explain the each and every term, whatever the questions are asked by Arjuna. So translation.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
The
Mataji.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his internal nature is called Adhyatma.
Eternal. His eternal nature.
Eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, yeah, now he is answering. Krishna is answering. What is Brahman? Aksharam Brahma. Answer, you can write. So now we are finding the answers. So write the answers for the 7 questions asked by the Arjuna. Next question. Write the answers for 7 questions asked by the Arjuna, as explained by Krishna. First, what is that Brahman? What is the Brahman? Right in front of that, Aksharam. Aksharam. Aksharam means which is indestructible. Aksharam. That means which cannot have decay. That means, like in this material world, if you see, every object is, by the time it is destructed, that means it is finished. It is having that means the 6 changes it is having. In this material world, every object is having 6 changes. What are those 6 changes? Birth, growth, after that maintaining the stage, then after reproduction, the next dwindling, and next finally finish. These are the 6 changes are there in objects which are in this material world, which are okay. But what about this Brahman? This Brahman is not at all having these 6 changes. It is completely free from these 6 changes.
We
Okay,
have
all
to
of you know these 6 changes.
Sanskrit, or we can write the indestructible living entity, or we have to write the Sanskrit term aksharam.
Yes, bro.
So we can also write
Explain.
the English meaning.
English meaning also explain. Yeah, indestructible. Yes, and also you can explain. So, which is not having these 6 changes respectively. So that's birth, growth, maintaining the its maintenance, and then after to reproduction, decay, and destruction. Okay, next, that means Brahman is not having this. That is also Paramam. That is transcendental. This beyond the modes. This Brahman. That much only he said about the Brahman. Finish. Next word, Adhyatmam. Second point he's saying. What is that? Adhyatmam. Adhyatma means Swabhavaha. Now we have to see Adhyatma means. We have to see the commentary best, because Adhyatma means Swabhavaha. So what is the meaning of Swabhavaha? Adhyatma means what he is saying? Swabhavaha. Nature. Swabhavaha. Swabhava means nature. What is that? You should write in simple words. You can write. It is nothing but the. What is the nature? Nature means what? Our subtle body. Based upon the subtle body only, we'll be getting our nature. Yes. So someone is angry, someone is this, someone is that, because the mental condition is nothing but our nature. That's Jiva's nature, not Jivatma, Jiva's nature. So that's why here, so Adhyatma means what? You should write subtle body.
We don't have to write, it means Swabhava, eternal nature.
Not eternal nature. Adhyatma is not eternal nature, Machal. Acha, here, okay. It's not, Adhyatma will not be eternal actually, because that will be finished. Adhyatum, Adidhaivam, Adibhutam, these are all related to this material world. I will explain one small diagram so I can explain that.
Right, please repeat. Adhyatma means?
1 second, Mataji. I am coming to that. So our Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, so he is saying that Adhyatmam means
Prabhuji, in the first verse, it says transcendental. Adhyatma means transcendental.
Many meanings is possible, Mataji. So we can take the one meaning out of those.
There is 2 natures, right, Prabhu? One is our this, like you said, subtle body, and one is our eternal nature, which is basically.
So here, subtle body is the intention, actually, Krishna's intention. So swasya mane jivatmanah sambandhi yo bhavaha bhuta sukshma tad vasana lakshana padarthaha. What is that? Bhuta. I will use my. Because same concept we will be getting in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto 10th chapter actually. Adhyatmam, Adidaivam, Adibhutam. And the same wording. So here also Acharya is explaining. Word meanings you can take many ways, in many times, in many different ways, based upon the context actually. So that's why it's not that only Sanskrit is having such a facility. So where is the pen?
The only thing which is that his eternal nature is called Adhyatma. Eternal, like
not
Adhyatma. It's saying eternal nature, but our eternal nature is only that's the transcendental loving service to the Lord. This is as per Srila Prabhupada's translation.
Yeah. That is also possible, Prabhu. That is also possible. No. No problem. So that is also possible, because
when I made my notes, Prabhu, for this in the past, I put both. I put, when I explain there are two natures. One for the from material point of view and from spiritual point of view.
yeah, both we can take. Yes, because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is also saying, so Suddha Atma. So Suddha Atma. So that's why still you Prabhupada is giving eternal nature. And also it's not only just eternal nature, material nature also we can take both. Okay. So both are possible, because differently acharyas are taking. So Prabhupada is covering both of them, because in the translation we'll be seeing and explanation we'll be seeing both. So that's why we can take. See, this is Jivatma. Okay. This is the subtle, all the subtle senses. That means mind, intelligence, false ego, and senses. Senses also subtle. Mind is storing the all the different kinds of the thoughts, whatever we were having. Intelligence is a discrimination power. False ego is giving the identity. That means false identity. And senses. Senses are that means we don't, senses means don't think that these eyes are the senses. These are the gross element, whatever you see. This is not the eye actually. What is the eye? For example, eye means okay, you are all not able to see me. So this eyeball is there, big ball, this much big ball. So is it eye? It is not eye actually. So Kesha, that means Taragravarti. That means on the eye there is a very, very subtle. That means you cannot see. You cannot see at all. There is some Surya Amsha will be there. Very, very subtle that is. And it's impossible to locate even by the electronic microscope also you cannot see. And such a one small element is there, that is known as eye. And because that is presenting, that is accommodated, that is sitting in this eyeball. So if eyeball is only the eye, even the blind people are having the eyeball, but they are not able to see. We don't say they are having these eyes. Eyes means really what? The subtle, very minute. It's very difficult to see. And such a element is there, the Amsha of the Agni, Tejo Amsha, Amsha of the, that means Surya Amsha. He'll be sitting in so is lying on this eyeball. That's known as sometimes in Hindi language, Tej. So Jyoti bolte hain. Anka Jyoti chale gaya. Jyoti. You remember this? So but आंख है लेकिन ज्योति नहीं है, ऐसा बोलते हैं actually.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can we call it Chakshu also? Chakshu in a subtle form? The eye subtle form is Chakshu.
Eye is a Chakshu is a Sanskrit word. But what is that Chakshu I'm explaining? That is a very minute, so the particle actually. And that is also, okay, come to our so that is also comes under the subtle elements. All these subtle elements, okay, are known as Adhyatmam. Then that means on these subtle elements, so respective demigods are sitting. Like on the who is the control of the mind? In the mind, who is sitting? So mind is a location of the Chandra actually. And on the ego, someone is there actually in the Bhagavatam, I forgot. And for the intelligence also, there is someone is the Devata. And for the all these eyes, ears, nose, these are all subtle senses, and on all each there is some demigods are sitting. Okay. So that means in our body there are several demigods are there. On each senses, mind, intelligence, everyone is controlled by so respective demigods. So okay, all these demigods are together known as Adhidaivam. Next, these Adhyatmam and Adhidaivam are accommodated by whom? This physical body. This physical body. That means this hands, legs, and this whole body. So that's why this physical body is known as Stula Deha. Stula Deham is known as Adi Bhutam. Adi Bhutam. So Jivatma, by this false ego, by the accommodating, by the arrangement of the false ego, so it is claiming the ownership on the senses, and when the eyes are seeing, then it says that I am seeing. This Jivatma, through the arrangement of the false ego, claiming the ownership on these elements. These are all mine. Mind, this intelligence, senses, all are mine.
Prabhu, that's why we can say like the bhutas and the pretas, or the bhutas, they don't have a physical body, they don't have eyeball, but they can see as well. It is because of that.
Physical
Shakti.
body is not. But bhutas are also having the physical body, but that is made up of different things.
Okay.
So, like human beings in this Earth planet, we have the physical body, which is made up of majorly Earth, and bhutas are having the made up of some other element, and pretas also made up of some other element, physical body. All are their physical bodies are made up of. So, like devatas, their physical body is made up of another thing, like that. So that means these Pancha Mahabhutas are varying in the different proportions for this Stula Deha.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Prabhu. The mind will not comes under Adhidaiva.
Why mind will come under? The controlling deity of the mind will come under the Adhidaiva.
I studied in the Bhagavatam Prabhu, it's the second canto.
Tell me, what is that?
That was it mentioned that the Karta, like Jnana Shakti is there from the Adhideva, the mind and the 10 senses of Devatas. And in Adhyatma, there are Prana, 10 senses and intelligence. And in Adibhuta, 5 Tan Mantra and the 5 Tan Mantra, that is the sound, touch, form, taste, smell, and 5 elements, ether, air, fire, water, earth.
Which sloka?
That was Prabhuji, it was in the 5 in the second canto, 5th chapter, it was there. I can share the picture. It was
You can share later after the class. Okay. You take now this, and then after class we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Okay. You understand now. You take that. So Adi Daivam means all the devatas, controlling deities are known as Adi Daivam. Okay. And Adhyatma means all the subtle elements like mind, intelligence, false ego, and the senses. So subtle senses, all these senses. So 5 senses working on the knowledge. Even a hand means we should not think that this physical hand is hand. Hand means very small, minute particle which is invisible. So that will be there in the hand. And that is known as hand actually. So that's why these are all known as Adhyatmam. Okay. And the physical body is known as Adi Bhutam. And now Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying Adhyatma means, so Now you see, Jivatma is getting the nature. Jivatma is behaving a certain way. Because of what? Because of this. Because of mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is subtle body. Based upon subtle body only, our nature, that means our general nature is described. So that's why Adhyatma means Swabhavaha is said. What is the meaning? What Krishna said Adhyatma means in the synonym Swabhavaha. That means in the conditioned state, Jivatma Swabhava is what? So this subtle body decides the nature of the Jivatma. Someone is so smooth, so soft, someone is so aggressive, someone is so ignorant, and someone is like this. So like that, these natures are coming from whom? From the Stula Deha it is coming? From the Adideva it is coming? No. From where it is coming? From the Adi Atmam, Adhyatmam. Getting?
So is there a difference between Jiva and Jivatma or same thing?
So Jiva is known as Jivatma plus subtle and gross bodies is known as Jiva. And Jivatma is that pure spirit.
Okay. Thank you.
That means Jiva's nature. Jiva's nature is made up of what? Made up of Adhyatmam.
We should be
Everyone
careful
right?
choosing this, using these terms. We should be careful using Jiva or Jivatma.
Yes, Prabhu. Jivatma is having the body either made up of external energy or either made up of internal energy. You're understanding? So that means
so we can say
Jivatma.
Jiva means soul plus subtle body, and Jivatma means pure soul.
Yes. Jivatma means pure soul, and Jiva means Jivatma plus subtle body and gross body. Total. So Jiva's nature, that means is coming from whom? From the Adhyatmam. Physical body is not having any nature, that will not give any nature. That's a dump element. That's just inert. That's nothing. But the nature we have that based upon our mind and our intelligence and also our false ego. Okay. And also all the desires are stored in this mind. The vasanas, from the lot of vasanas, whatever we accumulated in the previous lives, those are all accumulated in the mind.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Our
Jeev,
desires.
I just want to ask you again about the Jivatma. Jiva means soul plus subtle body or gross body, and Jivatma means?
Pure soul.
Okay.
I'm writing here Jivatma plus subtle plus gross. This is known as Jiva. So when one is doing the devotion, what will happen? If one does devotion, this is Jivatma, anyway, it is a spirit, and this subtle body and gross body is turning into spirit. The subtle and gross body is completely turning into the spirit. And it is made up of what? This external energy is turned into the internal energy. That means it is becoming Visuddha Sattvamayam. Like if you keep iron in the fire, then what will happen? That will be burnt and that will become fire. And the subtle and gross bodies are completely turning into the spirit. That means made up of, it will be according to the bhava you develop towards the relation, towards the Lord. So according to that, these subtle and gross bodies are turning. Okay, by doing the bhakti, this is going to happen. Subtle and gross bodies are transformed into spiritual bodies. So when you do bhakti, at that time also Jiva is getting the Jivatma plus subtle and gross. That means at that time you don't need to say subtle and gross. Everything is made up of internal energy. The total is made up of internal energy. That body you'll be getting. Okay. This total subtle and gross are transformed into the spiritual body. Spirit. That is known as spiritual body. Jivatma is getting spiritual body. So that's why here Adhyatma means you should take. So Jivatma in conditioned state, whatever nature is getting the subtle body, or otherwise Jivatma, so Jiva is getting its nature due to subtle body, or otherwise in the liberated stage also, that means in the perfected stage, Jivatma is also getting its nature based upon the type of devotion it does.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You're telling that the subtle body and the gross body are turning into the spiritual.
Yes.
The subtle body and the gross body means the made of the 5 elements. That is turning to spiritual.
Yeah. They
Gross
all
body.
turn into spirit.
Turning to spirit.
Turn, T-U-R-N, turn. Yeah. They are transformed into spirit. Okay.
When it is happening?
Every day is happening. As much as you chant, that much your subtle body is transforming. Your gross body is also transforming. And when you are perfect, then total everything is transformed. Then you can go with that body to the Goloka.
What is the realization for that?
Huh?
What is the realization that your gross body is turning into spirit?
What is the realization means? You'll be getting the Nayanam Galadastridharaya, Vadanam Kadgadaruddhaya Gira, Palakai Nititam Vapukada. All these you'll be getting realizations.
In that stage, the whole body is spiritual.
Whole body will be transformed to spirit. Subtle and gross, all the bodies. Otherwise, what? If you offer prasadam also, it is transformed. Like that, you are engaging your senses and your body into the service of the Lord. Everything is transformed into
spiritual.
Spiritual.
Transcendental.
Hesitate नहीं करना चाहिए इसके लिए बोलने के लिए. Okay, then we'll go to the next sloka. So this is Adhyatmam, this is Adidhaivam, Adibhutam, you all understood. And karma, what is the karma? One more point is saying karma. What is the karma? Karma is Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karaha. So that means this Jivatma is getting the certain gross body. Sometimes it is getting the gross body made up, is looking like a human being, sometimes like an animal, sometimes like a tiger, cat, frog. So that subtle body, that gross body is, that means for this Jivatma, by which the gross body is decided. So that is known as karma. The karma is the one which is the decision maker to get the Jivatma certain gross body. Okay? Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karaha. What is that? Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karaha.
Prabhu, could you please repeat the line? Karma is the one which is the decision maker.
Decision maker for getting the certain gross body for the Jivatma. Adhyatma, everyone understood? Spiritual nature and material nature, both. Okay. Now time is running. Baapre. Uh, Bhuta bhavaha means bhuta means what? Pancha mahabhutas. That means gross body. That means the one which causes the one which is the cause for getting the gross body. Bhuta bhavaha. That means which is made up of Pancha mahabhutas. Subtle body is not made up of Pancha mahabhutas. Subtle body will be the same in every living entity. It is traveling. Subtle body is traveling. This is leaving this body, and what is changing? Birth after birth, cross body is changing. Same subtle body is going there. Yes or no? Same subtle body is going or not?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. I think thoda sa change ho raha hai sab log abhi.
Prabhu, actually, I think you have covered even fourth one also when you explained with the picture.
Yes, Mataji. But I have to explain some problem, some purport actually. Third sloka purport, that is taking little time. What is that? So Panchagni. What is this Panchagni system? That I have to explain. So there are the 5 Agnis and 5 Ahutis. You know Ahutis?
Yes.
What is that? Tell me.
What are the oblation put to the
into the fire? That is so Ahutis. What are the 5 Agnis? So Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Please go through that. First one is 5 Ahutis. Where is that? Chandogya Upanishad describes the Vedic sacrificial first on the sacrificial altar. 5 kinds of offerings are made into the 5 kinds of the fire. So 5 kinds of the fire are conceived as the heavenly planets, clouds, earth, man, and woman. These are the 5 fires. Man is fire and woman is fire. What is this? You'll understand now. And what is the oblations given in that? So faith, next somarasa, and next rain, grains, semen. These are the 5 oblations. Okay? 5 fires and 5 oblations. Is clear? Now, on what fire, which oblation is given, that we have to understand now. So that is the point now. So, in the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes specific. So why this is this Panchagni process is explained here, just to make you understand about the karma. So based upon the karma only, we will be getting the different destiny. So that's it, to explain that. So Prabhupada is mentioning this. So that means karma is the cause for the getting the body or not, physical body, the gross body, yes or no? I said that. So then that how it is we are seeing. So first of all, when one is in the situated in the good, that means good in the proper Vedic system, and he will be having the Shraddha in the Vedas, and he will be, so let us take he's a karmi. So karma you'll be seeing in the whose case? Karmi's case. So he is doing the karma. So karma means what? He is following the Vedas and having the Shraddha. He is having the Shraddha in what? He is having the Shraddha in the Vedas. And this is the actually a fire actually. Shraddha, sorry. This is the Shraddha, and he is having the Shraddha in, this is the oblation. He is having the Shraddha in whom? In the Vedas. What Vedas are saying? Vedas are saying about the Swarga. Okay. I'll just make the 5 fires and 5 oblations. 1 second, quickly I will make that. Five fires. What is that? First one is Swarga. Heavenly planets, Swarga. Second one is clouds. Third, earth.
Earth,
Man and
बोलिए.
man, woman.
And woman.
Man, and fifth is woman. And oblations.
faith,
Faith.
enjoyer of the moon,
Somrasa. Soma.
Somrasa,
Yes.
rain,
Next is grains. Rain, sorry.
rain, grain,
Rain,
grains,
grain, and cement. So then what happened? So first, some X person is there. He is the karmi. That means he's having belief in the karma. So then he is a performer of the karma. What? He is having the faith in Swarga. He is having the faith in Swarga. Okay. So then what he will be doing? He will be doing in his lifetime some yajna. This is yajna. He performed yajna. So by doing the yajna, so he will be getting this some kind of adrushtam phalam. That means unseen phalam. Adrushtam means unseen result. So unseen result. So that is there. When this jivatma is about to leave, when this jivatma is at the time of the death, all these demigods who are sitting in the different limbs of this different, I already said, in the mind, intelligence, false ego, and the senses, all the different demigods are sitting. I said or not? So though that Adidaivam, all these Adidaivam devatas, they are seeing this adrushtam is already he earned this. Then they will be taking this jivatma along with its subtle body. They are taking that subtle body along with that, and they will be giving what? They will be giving the body, such a body, so he can enjoy in Swarga. So what is that body? That body is made up of soma. That means body is made up of soma means that body is suitable to drink the somarasa and enjoy. Okay. So these demigods are taking that jivatma from that body, jivatma along with the subtle body, and giving the what kind of body? Soma, body which is suitable to enjoy the somarasa. And they made him to enter into the Swarga. Okay. Now he is in the Swarga with that type of body to enjoy the somarasa there. Then after that, his punya, that means whatever that adrushtam phalam he earned, that is punya, so that is finished. Then he will be thrown. He thrown into the what? He will be thrown into the clouds. That means his what this man is having what? That person is having the soma body or not in the Swarga. Now he is thrown. That means along with that soma body, he is thrown into the clouds. That's why what is the fire in the clouds? What is the ablation in the clouds? Soma.
Soma.
Yes or no? Because
yes,
now person is here and he is thrown into the clouds with that soma body. So now then what will happen? That's why soma is the ablation in the clouds. Then what will happen? That person is sent to the earth. That person is sent to the earth through the rain. So that's why rain is the ablation in earth. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, and he is, that jivatma is through that rain, that jivatma. So it's left that soma body that is dissolved in the clouds. And now it is coming to the earth with that subtle body. So soma body already is over. And to the earth through the rains. And the rain is the ablation, is done in the fire of earth. So now jivatma is here. And this jivatma now, so it came to the earth and it is entering into the man through the grains. So that's why grain is the ablation in the fire, in the man. The word man is a fire and grain is the ablation. And this man, that means he is already in the rain. So through the rain, he is entering into the grains, and that grains are given as ablation in the man who is the fire. So now jivatma along with subtle body is here. Jivatma along with subtle body is here in the man. In the man's blood actually. That is digested in his food and he entered into the blood, and he entered into the semen of this man. And now this semen, so is the ovulation in the woman. So then, so he's entering into the womb of the, through the semen, the Jivatma entered in the womb of the woman, and he's taking the birth. So that woman may be the cat, that woman may be the pig, that woman may be the rat, that woman may be the something. Different things. Okay. So like this, karma is deciding what? Gross body. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
This is the phenomena you should understand. This is the principle of karma. Okay, third sloka is over. Now fourth sloka. Explain the Panchagni process in detail. 10 marks. No, 7 marks. Okay, Adibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha Purushaschadidaivam Adidaivatam Adiyagnohamevatra Dehabrutam Vara. So,
Oh,
what
best.
Krishna?
Can I read the
What, Mataji?
translation?
Translation, yes, please.
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, material manifestation.
Adhibhuta. Not Dirgha.
Adhibhuta.
Dirgha is not there. Adhibhuta. If you make Adhibhuta, there is a big difference will be coming. So that's why Adhibhuta it should be pronounced. Yes.
Okay. Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adhideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in heart of every embodied being, am called Adhiyajna, the Lord of sacrifice.
Okay, Madhu, thank you. So one thing, just one thing I want to express in the last sloka. So I forgot to mention. So you might be also having the doubt in your mind. So what I said about the Adhyatma when I was explaining, I said that subtle body and gross body are turning into the spirit actually. Completely they are transformed. Like example, Dhruva Maharaj. When Dhruva Maharaj did bhakti, so he went along with the body because his gross and subtle body, everything. And also in the, you can see, it's not from Bhagavatam, but from the history also, we learn that from the Maharashtra, who is that Tukaram, Bhakta Tukaram. He also went along with his body. Yes. And is really the science of the bhakti, then it is not happening. So why Prabhu is not happening in everyone's case? We are seeing in the case of Prabhupada also, so many pure devotees in our movement also living, and we are seeing their physical body is a leftover. And if everything is transformed into the spirit, then what is the need of getting some destruction? And why we have to see this kind of digested and diseased body here and living and going? So did you get, because what I said, internal, that means subtle and gross, both bodies, everything is transformed, I said or not? If gross body is also transformed, then what is the point of getting the diseases, and what is the point of getting the, so what is the meaning of leaving this body in this material world by the pure devotees? Prabhupada also left. That means Prabhupada didn't transform his body completely into the spiritual. You should get this question. You didn't get, why? Even questions I should ask. You should attack on the teacher na? When he says. So then what is, because I got the question, I got the doubt, so you have to answer them. Because you didn't ask. You people didn't ask, that means I am asking now. You answer, you all answer. Okay, I will only explain. So this is the very important point here. So it is a subtle point. So Bhakti Maharani, whenever you do, everything is, if you, what is the principle? Anything engaged in the service of the Lord, that is spiritualized. That is a fact. Whatever that means, when you do the sadhana, so your body is engaged in the service of the Lord. So then at that time is it not spiritualized? It is also spiritualized. There is no doubt in the philosophy. And you should not at all worry about the philosophical understanding. It's perfect. So it is transformed, it is completely spiritualized. So then why we are seeing still people, that means great devotees case also, they are leaving their body? The reason is Bhakti Maharani hides her glories. What is that? Bhakti Maharani hides her glories, and she will never show her glories to the common public. Even example, I am giving one example. Great devotees, sometimes they get the like some kind of diseases. Giving diseases is the mercy of the Lord. In the case of the great devotees, so Lord gives mercy by the two ways, by the poverty and by the diseases. Why? This is his causeless mercy, because devotee, as much as you progress to maintain the dinata, dainyata, that means humbleness, humility. Just devotees voluntarily accepts, like example, so Kunti Maharani. And Lord also says, he said, this is my mercy actually. And devotees can immediately, by using the influence of the bhakti, they can destroy that. Then what will happen? If they are started doing, bhakti can destroy everything. And if they utilize that bhakti to destroy all this, whatever difficulties, then what will happen? So then everyone in the society will be understanding that, oh, Bhakti Maharani is so flexible. We don't need to take any medicine. Just chant Hare Krishna, and I will just destroy my diseases. That means people start utilizing the bhakti to get the material results. They will be getting the lesson from the pure devotee's life. What? Do bhakti and so come out from the material difficulties. So that's why Bhakti Maharani will be hiding her qualities. Her qualities, that means these are all the secondary qualities, secondary outputs. So she will not be manifesting this. For example, if you do the chanting of Hare Krishna, rain will come immediately. If you do chant, because one time chanting Hare Krishna is equal to the, so is the result of the 10,000 Ashwamedha Yagyas, doing of the 10,000 Ashwamedha Yagyas. So such a powerful bhakti, then why it is not giving the immediate results for you? Two reasons. Either we have offenses, even in the pure devotees case, we are seeing the diseases. So they are all really, they don't have any offenses. They are very pure from the day one. And they are took birth in the Vaishnava families. They didn't do any offense, like Srila Prabhupada. And you are seeing the diseases in his body. So what do you understand about this? So that means this is what I want to say. So this is out of the causeless mercy of the Lord, or otherwise it is also the sin of that means done by these disciples. So they are accepting their prarabdha and they are taking the suffering of that. So that also can be possible. So the point is now, anything, having disease can be any problem, any reason can be the having diseases. But devotees, pure devotees, by using the bhakti, they can destroy, but they are not destroying that. They are only suffering. Why they are not destroying? If they got a severe disease like kidney failure and next immediately, so that is solved by his bhakti. After coming to know, so he used his bhakti and he cured that. In hospital, if you go, then the doctor said that his kidneys are failed. And then that person also came to know, oh, I have kidneys failure. So then he used his bhakti shakti and he cured that. So then everyone come to know, oh, his kidneys are cured, even in such a thing, and it is horribly, his kidneys are failed, but still by the power of the bhakti, he immediately cured. Immediately it can happen. It can happen. But Bhakti Maharani will not do that. She can also do by voluntary, but she also cannot do. Because by this, what society will think? So let me use bhakti for
material
curing the diseases, getting the wealth, getting the rains, this, that. Then they will make a big list. And they'll be using the bhakti is like a diamond, and you are using the diamond to purchase 1 kg tomato. So what kind of message? That means what kind of teachings they'll be getting. So that's why mercifully towards all of us, so Bhakti Maharani is not manifesting her glories quickly in anyone's case. This is the fact. This is a fundamental principle. You should remember this. So she will transform. She will be cleaning your heart. That is invisible. That she will be doing. That is also important. That she is doing. That's Mukhya Vritti. That's the main function of the Bhakti. She will be doing that. But she is not manifesting whatever the qualities so are discussed in the Shastras many times in many places. To hide her glories. Otherwise, they will be Bhakti Maharani is for what you should use. Bhakti you should use for the service of the Lord, not for your material gratification, sense gratification, or the material calamities to overcome your material calamities. Okay, so that's why even in the pure devotee's case also, she is just showing that they are leaving their physical body. But actually, that is only to hide her glory she is doing. But actually, everything is transformed and they are going with the spiritual body only.
But during this stage, when the devotee is suffering misery and disease, his devotional activity are stopping. Suppose somebody is the ICU, which is not doing the devotional activity. So how we understand that the devotion is growing or continuing?
Devotion is stopping for whom?
The devotee, the devotee who is suffering.
He will not stop actually. Prabhupada didn't stop. Even at the time of bed also, he is lying and he keep on translating. But we will stop because we are getting diseases because our prarabdha is not cleansed, and that's why we are getting from our prarabdha. But pure devotees, they will be, that's Bhakti Maharani is also showing that determination. She wants to glorify them actually. So that's why she is creating such a condition, but still they are doing their determinedly. That means with the determination, they are continuing their bhakti, and they will be giving the lesson for the whole world. How to practice bhakti in such a difficult condition. How to be determined to do the devotion.
Prabhuji, Jayapataka Guru Maharaj is doing it. He's showing
Yes, he's
it and
doing.
doing it.
If you do, his service is not reduced at all.
He's not. He's still doing the classes in spite
Still
of
doing the classes, still doing the all the so services and all the kind. Who said that is the actually? So in that way also she is. That means she can cure everything. She can cure everything. Then what message people will get? So people, and they will become like others, like you Christians. So they will be started using. So I will be praying the Lord, and I will be so cured that by disease, this disease. Then they started using the bhakti for curing these diseases, that diseases, and getting this wealth, that wealth. Secondary reasons, material results. Okay, understood? This is enough actually. So now we'll be going to the next concept. Try to hear back and get the contemplation on that. And if you feel even unsatisfied, then you ask me. Adibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushascha adidhaivatam adiyagno ahameva atra dehe dehabhrutam vara. Adibhutam. Adibhutam means sharaha bhavaha. What I said adibhutam means? What I said? Adibhutam. Adokshas?
Stula Deha, Prabhu.
Stula Deha. So that is sharaha. That is ksharaha. That means that is destructible. And adidaiva means what? Purushaha. Purusha means what you should take here. So all the adidaiva means all the demigods. All the demigods residing in whom? In Virat Purusha. Here Purusha means adidaiva. Means adidaiva means what I said? All the demigods. All the demigods are sitting in whom? In the Virat Purusha. So that's why here adidaiva means Purusha means Virat Purusha you should take. You saw the Virat Purusha form. All the Surya, Chandra, Indra, everyone is residing in him. So next, Adi Yajnaha. Adi Yajnaha means what you should take? Ahameva. I am Adi Yajna. Lord Krishna is saying, I am Adi Yajnaha. That means Krishna is Adi Yajnaha. And Dehe Dehabhrutam Varaha. Adi Yajnaha means what you should take here? Antaryami. That means Paramatma. So Adi Yajnaha means what you should take? Adi Yajna is nothing but Paramatma, that is nothing but Krishna. Because Paramatma is a Swamsha of the Lord. Okay, you answered all the 7 questions now. Now all the 7 questions are answered. No, 6 questions are answered. Our 7th question we are going to answer you. What is the 7th question?
How we can remember at the time of death?
How we can remember Adhiyagnam at the time of the death? Not remember, Prabhu. How we can know? Remember is the answer actually. How can we know the Adhyagna at the time of leaving the body? So I will take another 15 minutes today also. Please. 15 to okay. अत्र देहे अधियज्ञः यज्ञयागादि कर्म प्रवर्तकः अंतर्यामी अहम मदंशकत्वाद अहमेव. So here adiyajnah means what you should take, the person who is sitting in the yajnas, who is getting the purnahuti in the yajnas, that is Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. That Vishnu is only staying in the heart also, in the form of antaryami. So that's why here adiyajnah is nothing but the, so Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, he is nothing but the, so antaryami. That means that is the 6th question. So adiyajnah, how he is residing in the body? He is residing in the body in the form of Antaryami Paramatma. You should write this answer. How Adiyajna is residing in the body? That is the question asked by Arjuna in the 6th. That is 6th question. Okay. Now, how to know about him at the time of the death? So that is explained in the next sloka. So Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Yes, Dayamai Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Yeah, thank you. So at the time of Antakala means at the time of death. That means when they are leaving the body. Mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. That means all those 6 kinds of the devotees who are doing the devotion. So that means whoever is doing the devotion, Mam smaran. Answer is what? How? What is the question asked by the Arjuna? How they will be knowing the Adiyajnaha at the time of the death? Prayana kale. That means Krishna said that. So this yogi will be knowing me. That means this there's a mumukshu, whoever is doing devotion, they will be knowing. So me at the time of death, he said. So then Arjuna asked how they will know. Then he is answering here. How they will know? Smaran. What is the answer? Smaran. Smaran means what? Remembering. They will know through remembrance. Through the remembrance. How they will know? So at the time of death, the Adiyajna. How they will know? Through remembrance. Smaran. Smaran word. Smaran mameva. So, yaha praya. And there is no doubt in it. That means if anyone does bhakti, so there is no doubt they will be remembering Krishna at the time of death. Of course, we have seen so much suffocation at the time of the death. So every devotee can know. Yes, every devotee can know. But what is the conditions? Conditions are applied in the note. So what is that conditions are applied? One should be free from all the offenses. All the seva aparad, nama aparad, all the aparadas has to be finished. Otherwise, it is not possible to remember Krishna. Ajamil chanted the Narayana name at the time of the death. So how he is able to, that means many times we say that Narayana is in front of him, that's why he's able to chant his name. But how it is possible? How it became? Why Narayana at the time in front of him? So we should answer this. So because Ajamil was not having any offenses, Ajamil actually already finished his, that means at the Namakarana Samskara of his son, at that time he chanted the Narayana name. By that Narayana name, whatever the millions of sins he committed in the past and in the present life and in the future, whatever he is going to conduct, that means after Namakarana Samskara also he met with the Vaishya, that means his wife, that not wife, that's Sudrani. So, and he continued associating with her, that sin also he did. And all the future sin, everything is destroyed by the one holy name, because he's not having the offenses. If you don't have offenses, all the sins are smashed, are cleaned by one time chanting the holy name. Enough. And
you are saying past and future.
Future. Because that is a Purana is saying. Is a Vedic statement.
So in so many lifetimes, we haven't even chanted one pure name, bro.
Pure name means we should not have any offenses in our account. If offenses are there, then the effect of holy name will not be so acting, actually will not be there. Like sun is there, but the clouds are coming in between. What should we do? We will not get any sunlight and the sun light and the sun heat.
So Prabhu, we've done so many offenses already. So how will that happen then,
So yeah, because knowingly or unknowingly, millions and millions we did, and we are also doing, because of the careless, less understanding of the bhakti also will be leading the many offenses. Because 10 offenses really like a very, very important items actually. We do commit many offenses, and we think that we are not committing, but we are committing it. Because the subtle signs of the aparadas, if you understand, then oh, this much depth is there, my God. Then we'll understand that. Okay, I have to change my devotional life so much, and my thinking, my approach towards the devotees, and many things we might be not thinking that is not offense. So, but that is offense. We'll be coming to know when we study about the offenses in future. So that's why what I want to say, the qualification is one should be free from the offenses. So then Krishna will make arrangement to remember you. Krishna will make arrangement for you so that you can remember him. One cannot remember by himself, no. So that means matta smriti rapohanam cha, he will make you to remember. That means through remembrance, that means you are able to know Krishna at the time of the death by the remembering only. Not, you will not be knowing like the Gatapata. That means Gatapata means like a pot, how you'll be knowing, you'll be seeing and you are feeling like that, you will be not. Just you can remember him, that much. That much knowledge only you will be given at the time. Remembrance. Remembrance of him. Antikalecha. So, Mameva Smaran.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. As it says, I mean, the remembrance will not come until we are totally offenseless.
Yes.
But is the thing is like, what's the hope? It's like already there are so many and it's going on. Even maybe on the certain level, as the subtlety we cannot know or until, but is it, how to do that? I mean, it seems impossible then.
It's not impossible, because so some offenses are, even we cannot remove also, we need the mercy of the Guru, and by the Guru they have mercy, and by strictly following. So that's why one should become so sincere and serious. It's not so easy actually. So how it is possible? Until unless, that means one is not developing the mood of Trunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishtuna Amanina Manadhyana Kirtani Sadari. That means, are we in that position? Trunadapi Sunichena, are we feeling ourselves are we feeling ourselves as lesser than the blade of the grass? Are we having the patience like a tree, or we are giving the respect to the even people who are giving the, you are blaspheming us?
Yes.
That means how
Not
much
here.
softness is needed in the heart. So, and that means if this state is not there, that means definitely will commit offenses. This state of the heart is not achieved if you don't aspire for this kind of the heart. So it is not possible to avoid all the offenses.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hmm.
That means all those four kinds of the Karma Mishra Bhaktas and Jnana Mishra Bhaktas and Sakam Bhaktas, that means they will not be having any offenses.
Yes, they are not at all having any offenses. That's why they are delivered actually.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So, in this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once in the last sloka actually, in the purport, yeah. So the Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. So therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of the pure. The word smaranam is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. Okay, Prabhupada, what is writing? Impure Krishna consciousness. That means if you have any anarthas, impure means anarthas. So we will not go back. We will not remember. We cannot remember. So that's why Prabhupada line is, every line is very important actually. बहुत बार वो लाइन घुसता ही नहीं दिमाग में, तो फिर भी हमारा कुछ नया मीनिंग ही आता है उसके ऊपर, अपना मीनिंग डाल देते. उन्होंने बोल रहे हैं, जैसे प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे थे, प्योर, दैट मीन्स impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. So they never go back. It's not possible actually. So therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. So, but Prabhu, essential you are saying remembrance, because to remember at the end of the life, so one should remember. So then how remembering shall we do now only? So yeah, Prabhupada says that Hare Krishna, therefore, one should constantly, constantly or incessantly chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one to be a tolerant as a tree. See how Prabhupada is, every line is like a golden line. It's like a, you see, very, very important. You should understand of each and every instruction. So this is the mood, then only you can come out from those offenses. Otherwise, the offensive mentality will not go easy. So such a softness in the heart, such a forgiveness, and such a humble and dhinata, dainyata. That's why many pure devotees, they are always, because they don't want to see any kind of the proud or any kind of the awkward situation. That's why, my dear Lord, give all the pain to me so that I will become humble, dainyata, dhinata. Because if I am given with the post, position, wealth, maybe I may get some proud and I may offend anyone, and I may see anyone bad qualities in anyone. So, my dear Lord, so don't give me such a situation to me. Keep me such a situation all the time in such a painful situation. Automatically, humbleness will be coming. So, why they are asking? This is the reason actually. Why pure devotees ask? So, pain in their life, all the calamities and pain in their life. Write the question. Is very important actually. Why pure devotees ask difficulties and pain in their life? Yes. Why they are asking? Because to avoid offenses, one should be in a humble state. So they should be identify themselves as lesser than a grass, blade of grass, and patient than the tree. So to get that kind of situation, humility is needed. For that humility, so they are asking to get that humility. They are asking all the pain, material pain. Material pain automatically make, like if we get the fever, our I can do this, I can do that, such a proud, everything will go, and will be lying on the bed and so my God, Krishna, what is this? Like Gajendra, in the case of Gajendra. So he fought for 1,000 years by his own power. But when his energy is completely out, then he became humble, and then in that humble state, so he prayed actually. So there may be so many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna. This is tolerance. So many difficulties will get in our life. So we may bring up this so many, oh, this he's this duty wrong because I am doing so much nice, but still he's envious of me, this, that, like that. We'll be getting so many impediments. If we are trapped in that, then keep on fighting only, that's all. But one should have the tolerance. Then what is that limit of the tolerance? It's unlimited tolerance. Then only we can avoid all the offenses. All the kinds of the Vaishnava para, this, that, everything. So one should continue to chant Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. This is the way to get the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. Okay, next sloka. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tameveti kaunteya sada tatbhava bhavitaha.
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quiet his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Yeah. So now Krishna is saying, hey, Arjun, not only just thinking about me, remembering, if they remember me, they will reach. It is common to any case. If anyone remember others, they will go to them only. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejichanti. So whatever they remember at the time of death, so according to that remembrance only, they will be getting the destination. So that's why he is saying that, yes, they will get without fail that state. So here, if you see, ultimately Krishna, what he is saying, remembrance. At the time of the death, one will be knowing the Krishna through the remembrance. So remembrance is the important thing. So we whole life we should do remembrance. That means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Remembrance means Smaranam. So that means we should practice Smaranam much. Is it like that? About us? So what is the practical step here? So based upon these teachings, so ultimately we should remember only, then why don't we start remembering now onwards? So, but here the point is our Acharya Srila Jiva Goswami says that. So, and also Srila Prabhupada also says in his purports, in many places, yes, remembrance is the goal, but to reach that, first of all, we should practice Shravanam Kirtanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by doing this Shravanam Kirtanam, what will happen? Antakarana Shuddhi, that means Krishna Shunvatam Sokatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudyantasto Hyabadroni Vidunoti Suhrustatam. So Krishna, by continual chanting, so what will happen? These abhadras, the impurities in the heart, those will be clean. When they are clean, so then only you are able to remember the Krishna. Then you can shift to the Smaranam. That is also Vaidhi Bhakti, limb of the Vaidhi Bhakti. Smaranam limb you can go when heart is purified. Otherwise, without cleaning the heart with the Shravanam Kirtana, if you start remembering now, then all the kachada, that means all the your whatever movies you watched in the previous life, previously in this life previous, so before coming to Krishna consciousness, and whatever the fightings, these, that, all these things will come. So that's why, what is the easiest process and what is the recommended process for the everyone at the beginning? So Shravanam Kirtana, that means japa. That is important. And Prabhuji, so when we start Smaranam, when you are clean, then automatically Krishna will be coming into your memory, in your remembrance. That will happen automatically. So that's why no need to worry about that. Boliye Mataji, Ashtasaki Mataji.
Prabhuji, I just had a question, like how was Ajamil able to chant the pure names of Lord? Because when we look at the story of Ajamil, like it seems like he committed so many offenses, like he broke dharma, and the son that was born was also out of, he broke the regulative principles. The son was begot out of a prostitute.
Yes, Mataji, yeah, I understood your question. So Ajamil's case, if you see, Ajamil just, he chanted the name Narayana at the time of the name giving ceremony of his son. By that name itself, all his sins are out. So why he is able to give, why the Brahmanas give Narayana name to his son? Why it happened? You can ask this question. And because Narayana, actually Ajamila was having the association of the devotees previously. Because of that association only, he is able to got the opportunity to give his son's name as Narayana. Okay. And Ajamila's case, there are no offenses actually. He is sinful person, but he didn't do any offenses. Like someone is in the forest.
Prabhuji, it has to be understood as that whatever he has committed sins, not any offense.
Yes, that we should understand. That even millions of the sins will be just finished by one holy name. But when sins are there and offenses also there, then sins will not go by one holy. So as much as that means offenses also should go on, and slowly sins also will go on. So if you want to know the steps and the process clearly, you should read the Madhurya Kadambini. The way, that means so cleaning of these sins and the offenses, how it happens. So that is a very detailed discussion given by the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his book Madhurya Kadambini. Okay, so that we can discuss very elaborately. It's also big science actually. So in the Ajamil's case, so he didn't have any offenses. So that's why that one holy name is enough to finish all the sins, and also it can give the Krishna Bhagavad Prapti also. One holy name is enough. So that is the glory of the bhakti. So that's why, so in our case, why we are not able to just get any taste, and why we are not able to developing the symptoms like whatever they explained by the Sikshashtakam, that means Nayanam Galadasridharaya, so and so, because we had millions and millions of the offenses also along with the sins. So that big pile has to be cleaned. What is the process of cleaning those? Is that taking the shelter of the holy name. Okay, now Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam, here Krishna is clearly saying that whatever the target you keep, so based upon that. So I explained, so Smaranam is not that means artificial stage. Artificially you should not do that. So Once the heart is clean, so we will be remembering Krishna automatically and will be going there. And also we can try. So Prabhupada also writes somewhere, so one should try. So trying to bring the mind always abhyasa yogena. So here, because any bhakti limb is powerful actually. Just by this Shravanam also you can reach to the Godhead. You can by this Kirtanam also, by this Smaranam also. But here we are going to see in this chapter specifically Smaranam actually. So that's why we are going to discuss the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Why we are going to discuss, why Krishna is discussing Yoga Mishra Bhakti? What is the connection? Because Krishna said that person who is living his body, he will be knowing the law, Adiyagnam, through remembrance. Then how to do that how to practice that remembrance? Then to practice that remembrance, one should do the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So, okay. Now you write the question. What is that? So, what is the link for discussing Yoga Mishra Bhakti in this chapter, in chapter 8? What is the link for discussing Yoga Mishra Bhakti by Krishna in this chapter? Okay, what is the answer you will write? Because Arjuna asked that, so how the person who is leaving the body will be knowing the Adiyagnam. So for that, Krishna answered that Smaranam. That means through Smaranam he will be knowing the Adiyagnam at the time of death. Then how to get that Smaranam at the time of death? For that one should practice. Then for that practicing what? One should practice the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Okay. So now next, seventh sloka. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasya samshayaha. Translation, yes.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes.
So, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Yes. Okay, Mataji. Achit Prabhu, what? You have a question?
No, Prabhu, I was thinking to read the translation.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu.
No problem.
Yeah. So here the point is, so that's why, hey Arjuna, ultimately what you can know Adiyagnam, that means Paramatma through the remembrance only. Why don't you do remembrance? Even while doing the yuddha, that means fighting also, you keep on remembering, because what time you will die, you know. So better start remembering. And parallelly you do remembrance and also you do your yuddha. That is the point he's saying. Tasmas sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara. That means you keep on practicing this remembrance, remembering me. And also you do for the external world, for the outside world, to set an example. That means being a king, you have to set an example for them. So that means fighting. You should not escape from your duties and should not set a wrong example. So that's why, that means what it is indicating this sloka, one can do the bhakti. That means one can do the Suddha Bhakti and also do his prescribed duties. Recently, I said in the previous sloka, in the previous classes. So one can do Daivi Varnashram means such that some souls, that means they will be doing their prescribed duties just for the sake of the setting example to the society. But also they can practice the Suddha Bhakti parallelly.
Just few moments before you said Prabhuji that if you will remember now, then Kachra will come, so many Kachra. Along with a few minutes back, you said Prabhuji, if we will start remembering now, Smaranam, then so many Kachra will come in our mind, and if we'll do along with the our daily job.
Your voice is not clear. Okay.
Like Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur as well, Prabhu is setting the example. He's a Grasta. And
Acha. Okay.
No, Prabhu was saying something else.
Something else. Okay, Saurav, we'll discuss after class.
Here, Yoga Mishra Bhakti and Yukta Vairagya, we can they can the same platform.
Prabhu?
Yoga Mishra Bhakti and Yukta Vairagya. These two are in the same platform or different?
I don't see connection, Prabhu. I'm not understanding how you are.
Yukta Vairagya Bhakti, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. So just I want to mention here the point is, so that's why Krishna is emphasizing this Smaranam. So he is recommending to Arjuna also do Smaranam of me all the time and also perform your prescribed duties. That means this is Anya Bilashya Sunya. Yes? Anya, of course, he's doing the karma. That means Yuddha, is it covering? Is it covering Bhakti?
Yes, Prabhu, because it's doing for Krishna.
So is it covering? That means karma is covering his Bhakti? No.
No.
That's the point I want to say. Because he's not seeing his Yuddha, his fighting is helpful for his devotion. Is he seeing like that? No. Why he is fighting? Just to set example for the society. That's all. Shama Priya Mata, you are asking Daiva Varnashrama how the ways it is possible. This is also one way, I said.
Who had question, but I'm just waiting for the class to be over.
Okay, Mataji. So thank you, actually. And next sloka I am saying, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. Purports are very, that means whatever points we are discussing, it's very understandable. That's why important points I am anyway discussing. So, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanya Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanu Chintayan. Achit Seva Prabhu.
Unmute yourself, Prabhu. Achyut Seva Prabhu, unmute yourself.
Our class leader is Sita Mata.
Prabhu, unmute yourself. You are muted.
Yeah, yes, no.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
Now he's saying, this last sloka, just. So, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa. You can. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanya. So he is now, hey Arjun, you practice. This is a sloka actually turning whole Yoga Mishra Bhakti from here onwards. So we'll be seeing how to do the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So he is saying what? Abhyasa, that means do practice. How to practice? That is nothing but the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. That means, what is the Yoga Mishra Bhakti? Taking the features of the yoga, that means Yama, Niyama, Pranayam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, so Dharana, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. So first Dharana, then Dhyan. What is that? I forgot it. So Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. So
Dharana,
this is the
after that Dhyan. Dharana and Dhyan.
Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi.
Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. Okay. So Dharana, after that Dhyana, and then Samadhi. So these are the various limbs of the yoga that we are going to use to remember. Because Krishna is now sticking to the point of this Smaranam. So then how to practice that? For that he is going to explain Yoga Mishra Bhakti. What in this chapter we are going to see two things, Yoga Mishra Bhakti and also Kevala Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. So when that point comes, then I will explain that. So here, So here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti is writing, Abhyasaham asmaranasya punah punah avrittireva yogaha. What is the meaning of the Yoga Mishra Bhakti? What is the meaning of Yoga Mishra Bhakti means what? So yoga means is nothing but remembering again and again is nothing but the yoga actually. If you see Ashtanga Yoga, what is happening? You see, first of all, one is controlling his body. That means by following the Yama Niyama, eating and not eating. That means drinking and not drink, do's and don'ts. By using this, he is controlling his body and able to sit at one place. That is asana. Then after that, he's breathing. He's controlling his breathing air. So that his mind will be becoming the if you control the prana, then mind will be controlled by that. So that means pranayama he is doing to control his senses and mind. Then after that, controlling senses and mind, what he's doing, he is keep on trying to remember. That means dharana dhyan. Dharana dhyan means it's just a process of remembering. So ultimately, yoga process means what? It is a process.
Meditate.
Why you are saying it's a process of remembering the desired object again and again. Preparing oneself to remember the object again and again. That is the yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Simple. So for that you are preparing yama, niyama, pranayama, asana, the pranayama. So pratyahar means controlling the senses. You are doing these 5 steps just to making yourself, your body, physical body and the subtle body, so feasible and suitable for remembering. So that's why he's explaining the Ashtanga Yoga here, yoga, and that is mixed with the bhakti. That's why Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti is pradhana here. That's why Yoga Mishra Bhakti we say, not the Bhakti Mishra Yoga. Bhakti Mishra Yoga say that then yoga is pradhana and bhakti is less. But here what? Bhakti is pradhana, but here goal is what? Here bhakti, one wants to remember the Krishna only. But for that remembering, he needs some tools. So that's why yoga is using. That's why it is known as Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Here what is happening? Yoga is assisting to do the bhakti. So that's why it is known as Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Like in the Karma Mishra Bhakti, what we said? Karma is assisting bhakti. Then it is known as Karma Mishra Bhakti. Concept should be clear. It should be is going inside.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So write the definition of Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Elaborate within elaborate Yoga Mishra Bhakti is 2 marks. Acha, today what are questions? Recently I said, actually one more thing, whenever I say questions, you people ask immediately how many marks, otherwise I will forget.
Today marks was allotted to the questions.
Actually I will, so Mataji, you can send those questions so I can set the marks actually. I cannot spend time now. So I will do after the class that. And we will share with all of them
Repeat the question
tomorrow.
now. Please repeat the question. Repeat the question now.
Define the word Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Okay, we'll end here. 9:30 already. We'll discuss tomorrow about the Yoga Mishra Bhakti in detail. Then 10 slokas. Already 2 are pending from today. So any questions?
Oh, can I ask question?
Yes, Mataji. No questions. One by one. So raise the hand, Mataji. So Sharanagati Mataji, your turn will come. Please raise the hand. Already they raised.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is
Yes.
Sharanagati Devidasi. So
Yes,
my
Mataji,
question is, there was one discussion going on about the one was that time I was remembered. So there was a sadhana. Then there was 3 things. One was a sadhana, and one is sadhaka. So how we understand the first one?
So sadhana is the process. Sadhya is the by that process whom we want to worship. whom we want to achieve. So process, like you, whom you want to achieve. So that is sadhya. And who is doing this sadhana? He is a sadhaka. Example, if you want to go to from here Mathura to Delhi, so you are using the that means some car. So that is car is a sadhana. And what you want to, by using that car, what you want to achieve? You want to reach the Delhi. So Delhi, reaching Delhi is the sadhya. And who is doing? You are doing. So you are a sadhaka.
And also there was one samadhi position. So there was a three things. First, I forgot.
But
So
where we got these terms? Today we didn't discuss this at all. Sadhana,
there was
sadhya,
one mother. No, this is not the question I was about to ask. It came like that. But there was a samadhi, and there was two more. So there was one Mataji who was telling about that, and I want to know about the first thing.
Yeah. So dharana, dhyana, samadhi.
Dharana. Yeah, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Dhyana and samadhi, I understood. What about dharana?
So
how to understand
dharana
that?
is the before stage of the dhyana. So actually smaranam is 5 types. Smaranam, dharana, dhyana, dhruvanusmriti, samadhi. So these are the different stages, Mataji, stages of remembering. So when you start remembering the Krishna, so at that time, you maybe just remember the Krishna for only little amount of time. So then you are able to remember the Krishna, the whole form of the Krishna. So then that is known as dharana, whole form. But after that, you are coming to even close and you are able to remember Krishna's lotus feet. Then that is the dhyana. Then that remembrance is becoming the continuous. Then that is known as dhruvanusmriti. Then you are not seeing yourself. That means you are not identifying yourself, and you are simply fixed on the whole on the goal. Then that is known as samadhi.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very nicely explained.
Yeah. So Madhusudan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can you listen to me?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, please.
Okay, good, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, during our discussion, there is a question that came to my mind: how to get rid of this aparadhas, sins?
Yes,
how to do that? Because
yeah, so for coming out from the aparadhas, one has to be in a good association. So good association and also good understanding of the aparadhas and association and continually chanting the holy name. If we already committed, so in that good association, if we continuously does the especially aparadhas, I mean that powerful aparadha is the nam aparadha, the 10 offenses are very, very powerful. So coming out from that is only the main challenge in our devotional life. So that is possible by taking the shelter at the holy name. And also the 10 aparadhas, 10 offenses have the 10 different, some different mood we should maintain, different state of the mind. So to not only just the chanting holy name, but also needs the, like example, if one does the offense towards the Vaishnava, so some Vaishnava, then what? First of all, he has to go and ask the forgiveness. So I offended, so please forgive me. So by that, if he is not pleased, then one has to be in close to him and does the that means some activities which are pleasing to him.
Sevas.
Yeah, by that also he is not happy because your offenses is so serious and he is not happy with that. So then what you have to do? You have to just leave everything, all your other business, and simply just to take the shelter of the holy name and take it seriously. And you should not rethink back. Hey, I am begging so much, but still he is not forgiving me, and he is so not good. And like that also should not. Then it's once again offense actually. And leaving everything and so going, taking the shelter of the holy name with the repenting, and continuously you should chant the holy name. And also feel that, so I cannot satisfy, I cannot please that Vaishnava. So I am so unfortunate. And so, oh my dear, so holy name. So you have to, I am taking your shelter. So whatever you do, I am ready to follow that. Because why holy name we are taking shelter? Because that Vaishnava, if you offend, then holy name will feel bad. Because holy name, because that Vaishnava is taking the holy name, he took the shelter of the holy name, then holy name feel that you are offending my devotee.
Yes, yes.
So that's why holy name you are going and begging. So because that devotee you are not able to please, and then you have to take the shelter of the holy name and keep on chanting, chanting, chanting. Then there is a chance to get out from that offense. And also after that, you should not think that oh, I did so much, but he didn't pleased by me. What is this? Or otherwise, you should not think that anyway, I ask forgiveness, he's not forgiving, and I can take only this holy name shelter and I will reduce my offense. Like that also should not think.
Is it applicable to the Vaishnavas only or to the common people also?
Vaishnava. Yes, bro. Just example, just I am giving. Like that, there are the different mood also is important for each offense to come out. So that's the science of the offenses, how to get rid of those. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, just
Yes,
I'm
yes.
giving you one simple thing. Yeah.
Got it, got it.
Okay, Prabhu. Next, Shama Priya Mataji.
Prabhu, actually, I have 2-3 questions, but I just ask one because this
One
time is
question.
too.
Yeah, we'll take the circle and then we'll come back.
Prabhu, have like in the 7th text, translation is saying that Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then you will reach the stage of perfection. That's what we have to understand.
Yes,
Prabhu,
yes.
Prabhu, if we take it in a practical way, as you said that for smaranam is very important, but for it's a goal, and then we have to reach that by practicing shravanam and kirtanam.
Yes, yes.
That's what. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and then,
Yes, yes.
like in practical things, we see that when we do our chanting and reading shastras and all that, we can remember Krishna more easily as compared to when we do our prescribed duties like household duties. It's very difficult for us to remember Krishna because we are just so engrossed in doing the duties. It's very difficult to remember Krishna. So here Arjuna was doing fighting. So in practical ways for teaching purpose, how we can tell people that by doing that prescribed duties along with that chanting and all that, you can reach perfection. And at the same time, if you see the life of Haridas Thakur and Ava Goswami, totally like
Mother,
this
your
chanting.
voice is breaking all the time. Actually, I don't know, some problem in your device. So, okay. Okay, I understood till now. I understood till now. So, okay. So that Haridas Thakur was
So
saying.
how we can take this? Yeah,
How
I was
we can?
saying that if you see the life of Goswamis, if we see the life of Goswamis, we are seeing that they are totally involved in devotional activities. And also our acharyas, we can see that they were involved in Shravanam, Kirtanam, and all the 9 limbs of bhakti. So it's isn't it very difficult in a practical way that being involved in the prescribed duties and remembering Krishna 24 hours a day and reaching the perfectional stage? So how can we
Yeah,
take
it
it in
is
a practical
abhyasa.
life,
Yeah,
Prabhu?
yes, Mataji. Yeah, I understood your question. So it's a practice. So in generally, actually, society whoever is the Kanishta Adhikaris, they are not recommended. Actually, they cannot do that means complete. They are recommended to do the karma also actually. And who are not devotees, they follow the prescribed duties and they should follow the varnashram system. And whoever is kanishtas, they also do the karma. Actually, there is necessary, mandatory for them, until unless they get the proper taste that means shraddha in the holy name. So till that time they cannot leave the karma actually. Tavat karmani kurvita. So they has to do. So then after that, when they are developing the shraddha, that is the indication. Then only. So in the practical implementation, yes. So this is the possible by the like Prabhupada is also mentions. So of course I am doing so many material activities externally, but I do chanting every time. He also said in many cases actually. So in the it is a practice actually how to do the chanting inside and also they are doing the externally so many other activities. So that's why they are doing the pure devotional service all the time. It's not the Aropa Siddha Bhakti, or it's not the Karma Mishra Bhakti. So they are doing the all the on that level. So it's a practice, Mataji. So that's why we have to have the system such a way one should be gradually developed to that stage.
So after that, we only have to do, like, when we reach the perfection stage, then we can just leave the prescribed duties and just do the Shravanam, Kirtanam, and all the live
At that
limbs
time
of
also they
devotional
will
service.
do, but just to set the example, like Arjuna is doing.
This is not for everybody, no, Prabhu. Set
This
the
is for
example
everybody
is
to reach. One should reach. So this kind of state, that means by now following the prescribed duties, and actually various consciousness are there, various levels. So whoever not having the full taste in the bhakti, for them karma is prescribed, because if they don't have a shraddha in the bhakti, then they cannot sincerely practice the devotion. And also if they leave the karma, then they will be exploited. They will be destroyed actually. So that's why for them karma is recommended. And they started doing the bhakti limbs also, Shravanam Kirtanam, like is 30 qualities of the human beings. Shravanam Kirtanam is also is done. So as a duty, they should do that also. So so that their consciousness is raised. So when they are, that means, and they should offer their karma to the Krishna's pleasure. So that is also increases the taste in the bhakti. That means in the hearing the Krishna Katha. So then after that, next level is what? And one should understand the properly the teachings of, when he got the taste for hearing, he should associate sadhus and hear the supremacy of the Lord and develop the proper shraddha and understand the pure devotional service. Then he will not do the karma, but he will be doing the necessity of the lives, and where he is not following the obligations of the, so offering the oblations to the devatas, this, that, and simply those he everything he leaves, and he will be doing the, that means the nitya naimittika kamya nishiddha, or so prayaschitta karmas, those obligations he will not feel. So he will be doing the bhakti as primarily, and just to simplified life, and he is progressing like that. And when he becomes the, that means, and Shravanam Kirtanam, he increases and he purifies, then he can keep on doing his activities, material activities, and also he can come to this stage, remember the Krishna all the time. It's like a process, Mataji. It's connected. You have to reconcile whole the teachings said by our acharyas here and there, and connect and make a system.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. So next, Srimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the sixth text, it says that if one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to the transcendent. So, Prabhuji, in this text also, it says Maharaj Bharat's example is given.
Yes,
And
yes.
and Prabhu, you explained that when one is free from offenses, then Krishna makes arrangements. Krishna makes
Yeah.
arrangement to remember him at the time. So, Prabhu, as per my understanding, whatever I heard of Bharat Maharaj, that he did the bhakti throughout his life. It's just at the end he remembered he was taking care of that deer. So, is there any arrangement by Krishna so that Bharat Maharaj can come to, achieve the eternal abode?
Yeah, why you can ask like this? That means why Bharata Maharaj didn't get that remembrance by the Lord, by his
Yes.
special arrangement. So this is your question.
Yes.
So here the point is, Bharata Maharaj's case can be analyzed in two different ways. So Bharata Maharaj, some people they say that, some Vaishnavas. So Bharata Maharaj did some offense in the past lives, and because of that past offenses, as a result, he got the attachment to the deer now. While he is doing the sadhana, all of a sudden, bhakti nishta chavaka vastantra abhinivesha. That means, so that kind of attraction he got, which is collapsing his bhakti. He got attraction towards what? Deer. So why he got the he still that is indicating that he was having the offenses. So this is the one way of the understanding. And sometimes we can also, some acharyas they say, so Bharata Maharaj case he was not having any offenses, but Lord himself actually gave such a situation. So he delayed his Bhagavad Prapti because so his Lord wants to condense his love. So for that, so he wants to keep some distance separation actually. So for that, Lord himself arranged such a he arranged such a way he got by the will of the Lord only he got the attraction for the deer, and so that in the next tree, if you see in the next tree in the deer life, he was repenting so much, so that his love for the Lord is increasing actually. So that's why it happened. Like that also we can take. So that's why two siddhantas are there, two principles are possible. In the pure devotees case, sometimes you may see there suddenly attraction or sometimes deviation in the bhakti. So that may be the Lord's special arrangement to make those devotees and more, that means to condense their bhakti. In the case of the Narada also you can see. So that's why we should not blaspheme them. Better take the safe side. Instead of saying the offense they are having, just say that. So since we don't know what is their past and how the Lord is acting in their life, better so we should don't offend the analyze and offend. So maybe Lord is having the some special plan for this Jivatma to intensify his devotion. So he brought the some attraction towards the material objects.
So we can look at it like it was Lord's mercy that
Yes.
it's mercy that he got
Yeah.
deviated to. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, and actually here you have to ask one more thing. Anyone if is really is following next in the deer life, if you see at the time of the death, deer when he was leaving the deer body, so at that time he was completely remembering the Krishna, but still he got the Brahmana body. He didn't go back to the Godhead. Why? Yam yam vapis maran bhavan tejityante kalevaram. This is saying what? At the time of death, whatever we remember, according to that, we'll be getting the destination. So he was remembering the Krishna and he should go back. He didn't go back. Why?
Why, Prabhu?
So why? Because it's the same thing actually. Lord wants his love to be intensified. That means if you see in the Jadabharata case, so even he was very much intensified devotion he was doing from the day one. He was completely escaping from the so-called karma. So because other brothers, they are very much interested, very much experts in the performing the karma and earning money. But from the day one, Jadabharata is so intelligent and he knows everything, but he never participated, he never showed that his interest or otherwise his skills. Just to do the exclusive devotion and intensify his devotion, his love. So Lord made this arrangement actually once again. Okay,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
So Vanshipriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Tanvat Pranam.
Pranam Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. First was that developing humility and tolerance. This is very mandatory quality one has to develop.
Yes, Mataji.
Suppose, Prabhuji, if somebody, few people are by nature very humble and meek and have a lot of tolerance for anybody's offense or whatsoever misdeed people do around. But it is often seen, one cannot keep on shifting his nature, one nature to deal in the Vaishnava Samaj and one nature to deal with the material world, because in the outer world we see that people are almost 90% people are quite scheming and cunning kind of behavior. They have what they have is, they think very practically or they use their brains. But I know in my case that I can't use my brains. I remain very simple and silent and quiet. So what to do? Am I not rightly situated? If by nature I'm humble or by nature I can't be
And
very.
should Mataji. So in the Vaishnava Samaj, yeah, we can, but outside Samaj, so people are so cunning and so definitely that association will affect here also. one way. Yes. Can you ask your question in more clearly? So last
Okay.
what you were saying, I may be missing actually. I might be.
Okay,
I don't.
okay. Let me clarify once again. Suppose if I take my own example, by nature I'm very quiet, and I in no way I cannot be adulterated by the. I don't want to be, and I cannot be adulterated by the outside people's behavior or by whatever misdeeds they do, whatever politics or cunning or scheming behavior they show. It doesn't affect my own behavior, but I see that such an extreme level of tolerance and humbleness is taken in an exploitative format in the material world. Such extreme humbleness and humility and tolerance nature which a devotee shows or he develops or he has, that is not quite suitable in the material world. But he cannot keep on changing his nature. Na? Time is the same. He cannot keep on
nature.
changing.
So if we don't change nature, then we will not go back. So
That's suppose if I have got very humble and meek nature, so I cannot compromise with that. Even if I have to face something different in the material world, some opposition for that, or so I am not willing to change the nature. I prefer to remain humble. So is it good?
yeah, if one is humble, so yes, it is always it's good. What you are asking actually, I'm missing actually point. That means someone is humble. So what is that? That means
Guru Mataji is saying, I think that when she's dealing with the people outside world, and they may take advantage of her meek and humble nature. So what should she do? Should she leave her nature and take up another nature, or she should just stay in that nature, which is meek and humble, and with a chance of she may be exploited by someone else, you know?
acha. So that means by practicing this meek and humble nature in the devotion.
No, I'm not practicing, Prabhuji. I am by nature like that. I cannot change. It. It's like that. I cannot change it.
Yeah. So and outside world they are exploiting. So what should we do?
That is very cunning and scheming kind of people are there. They are like that. So some people say that you should develop that kind of intelligence, but I think that I cannot compromise just to deal with those people. I should not change my nature because that will be degrading for practicing bhakti.
Yeah. So whatever his nature is suitable. So one should be intelligent enough to protect his bhakti. So one has to reduce his association. So janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhaktir nashyati. So that means one has to reduce his association with the outside people. So there is no then chance of any exploitation also. So especially if you are the housewife, then you be in the house and practice your devotion and continue your nature. So whatever is some people are exploiting, and what is there? They will go for their own sin. So they will be getting the results of their sin. So and also if you are not able to, that means a devotee means he is also fight like Arjuna actually. And so he will become humble. So that is the point actually. He can, whatever is favorable to the Krishna consciousness, that we have to accept. Anything is not favorable to the Krishna consciousness, we will be immediately getting angry for that.
Okay.
So that is the philosophy actually, and that is the nature we should develop. So we are the Krishna persons, Krishnas. We are belong to the Krishna. Anything favorable to the Krishna and Krishna consciousness, that we accept. Anything is not favorable to the Krishna, we will not tolerate actually, like Arjuna.
Okay. There was one more question, Prabhuji, that recently I heard. I was going through a lecture, and I was going
थोड़ा सा
through the
जोर
lecture.
से बोलिए आप माइक के पास आके, तब तो सुनाएगा, मुझे तो सुनाई नहीं आ रहा.
Okay. Am I audible, Prabhuji? Okay. I was going through one lecture, and there the speaker was explaining that why we are not having feeling for Krishna, because he explained that why we are not having feeling for Krishna. Everybody asked that, Prabhuji, bhav nahi aa raha hai, Krishna ke liye bhav nahi aa raha hai. Why we are not developing feeling for Krishna? He explained that Krishna is not feeling for us. That's why we are not feeling for Krishna. He explained the process that Krishna will feel for us, then only we will have feeling for him. So how and why Krishna will feel for us? When he will see that we are taking too much trouble for him, or we are taking some seva which is kasht wala seva, when we are having undergoing some seva which is having too much of trouble, then Krishna will feel for us, and when he will feel for us, then we will develop feeling for him. So is this the whole process, Prabhuji?
What Rupa Goswami said, bhava is given by the three ways. So either by the sadhana, or by the mercy of the Lord, or by the mercy of the devotees. याद है आपको? पढ़ चुके हैं, भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु में पढ़े हैं ना माता जी हम लोग. We studied in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhava, how it is awarded actually, how it is given, how it is achieved, how it is coming just by the, if keep on doing the sadhana, when your anarthas are purified. So when we purify our anarthas, so that means not committing any offenses, and reduce, that means not other offenses, and keep on doing sadhana. When you reach the asakti, then after that, so one will be going to the bhava. Okay. Or that through sadhana also you'll reach. Sadhana is also two types. By the Vaidhi sadhana, or otherwise, next is Raganuga. So there are process, so you can follow and you can get the bhava from this. Or otherwise, so Krishna may give the special mercy. There are the, so by his glances, or by his just his touch, are very, that means three different types of the ways. So Krishna also just awards just by his glances, or otherwise by the mercy of the devotees. Like example, so Prahlad, so in the Prahlad Maharaj case, Narad Muni gave his mercy, and Prahlad Maharaj got the bhava from the beginning. So this is the way actually. You have to take any lessons or anything that should be supported by the Shastra. Otherwise, you will be getting confusion and post in book what is said and what is say. So everything that should be, whatever the anything you hear, so that should be supported by the philosophy properly.
That's why I asked. That's why I confirmed here.
Yes. So otherwise, on the name of, we should not manufacture the new things actually. So which are not having the proper support or base, then people are searching. So if we get the difficult things for the Krishna, then we will be, what is underlying principle actually? Underlying principle is one should maintain the humility. By that one will avoid the offenses. It's easy to not committing the offenses. And by the continually doing the sadhana, so then he will be going to the stage of the bhava. That should come actually. Outcome should be that. That is the principle, and that should be maintained. Otherwise, without maintaining that, whatever we explain, then that is creating confusion in the people actually.
I was, that's why having clarification.
Yeah, Mataji. So you read already Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
But इस तरीके से तीन
एग्जाम हो गया, बस मार्क्स आ गए, खत्म हो गए क्या? ऐसा नहीं एक्चुअली. आप उसको दोबारा पढ़िए, अच्छा से एक एक लाइन समझिए उसको अच्छा से, और उसमें प्रैक्टिकली लाइफ में भी सोचिए, तब जाकर अभी आपको उससे रस मिलेगा, उससे फल मिलेगा.
जी प्रभु.
ओके. हरे कृष्णा. जस्ट पुण्य श्लोक प्रभु.
Prabhu, I have a few questions, but just the first one, what is the one summary, Prabhu, of chapter 8 you mentioned earlier?
Summary of the chapter, Prabhu. So you will be making answers with it. You are so intelligent, Prabhu. Anyway, I will tell, no problem. So summary of this chapter is, Prabhu, he is going to explain after the questions asked, after the questions of the Arjuna. So he will be explaining answers to those, and he will be starting explain the Yogamishra Bhakti and also Kevala Bhakti. These two things will be seen in this. That is a chapter, summary chapter. So summary of this chapter.
Okay, like that.
Kevala,
Okay.
Yoga Mishra and Kevala. Bhakti.
Okay. And Kevala. No problem. And Prabhu, in that, I've got a couple of questions from the previous chapter. Just wanted to get that clarified, Prabhu. There's one statement, I think so, maybe Vishwanath Thakur makes that without the sense object, the element cannot exist. So what
Without
does
the
that mean?
sense
That
object?
means the sense object comes before the elements?
Can you repeat, Prabhu? This, I think.
Yeah. So it says that without the sense object.
One second. I will put my earphone because I have problem. I think my device is not.
Sure.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I think Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes this one line comment. Without the sense object, the element cannot exist. So what does that mean? That means that the sense objects come before the elements?
So that means elements means, what do you mean? That means objects for the senses?
Like, yeah, sense objects. So without the sense objects, the element cannot exist. So elements are, earth, water, air, fire, ether, whatever.
Without the sense
This
objects?
was in regards to that taste of water.
Acha. So without the
exact line, without the sense object, the element cannot exist.
In sloka number, Prabhu, can you say so that I can?
It's 7.8. I'm pretty sure. Just a second. So this is yeah. There we go. I think 7.8, Prabhu. I think it is
7.8. 1 second. Prabhu. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. So in this, what is that, Prabhu? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary you are asking?
Yes, Prabhu.
Swakarye jagati atra yata aham antaryami rupena pravishto varte तथा क्वचित् कारण रूपेण क्वचित् कार्येषु मनुष्यादिषु सार रूपेण अपि अहम वर्ते इत्याह रसोहम इति चतुर्भिः अप्सु रसः तत्कारणभूतः मद्विभूतिरित्यर्थः एवं सर्वत्र अग्रेपि प्रभारूपः प्रणवः ओंकारः सर्ववेदकारणं के आकाशे शब्दः तत्कारणं ऋषु पौरुषं सकलम् उद्गम विशेष एव मनुष्यसारः. Prabhu, there is no that line, Prabhu. Whatever you are saying, that English line, that kind of that is not given actually. I read the Mula Sanskrit.
I got it from some other notes or something. I don't have the actual whole translation or something. I just got it from some other note, and where someone mentioned this line, this was in there. So it's saying without the sense object, the element cannot exist. So
actually, if you see the process element, actually I am not able to understand, but in the process, generally these all 23 elements are coming just by the glance only, and after that Brahmaji, how he creates, he will be saying the name, then after that that is formed. Like example, a mango tree. So mango tree, when he uttered the word mango tree, then only mango tree is formed, that feature. When he say that stars, then stars are formed. That means word is first, then next that object is manifested actually by the elements.
So
that
taste, or the taste comes first, or the object comes first?
First taste comes actually. That means tan matras, they come first. That means shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa or gandha. These 5 elements come, and then after that, from these 5 subtle elements, the elements come, the gross elements: earth, water, fire, so and so.
Okay, so maybe in that case, that's what it means, that the taste is coming first.
Yes.
Oh, no, but that's the sense. So what is the sense object then as compared to that?
A sense object is taste. Sense object is form. Sense object is
Okay, okay. So in that case, sense object is coming first.
Yeah.
So in that case, that is right. So it's saying that without the sense object, the element cannot exist.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when taste is there, then only the water is coming.
Yes. So first the sense objects are coming. That is a taste, form, this, and then after that gross elements. Element you are saying, that's why it's confusing. Gross elements you should write there.
Okay, so yeah, now it makes sense. It clicks
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
That comes first. And Prabhu, one other thing was in the last chapter, you talked about false ego, and we talked about that includes its effects, so the 11 senses.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I'm not sure about that. Can you just explain that, Prabhu, that how that false ego, those mind, nose, tongue, eyes, ear,
Yes.
hand, feet.
Yeah. So from the false ego, the actually false ego is 3 types. Tamasika ahankara, so rajasika or satvika. From the tamasika ahankara, what is coming? First of all, 5 sense objects are coming, and next from those 5 gross elements, total how many? 10 are over. That means ahankara is having the 3-fold, it is, which is 3-fold. So first tamasika element part is giving this 10. Next rasika ahankara, if you take, that is giving the 5 gross, karmendriyas and jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, knowledge senses and working senses. That means 10 plus 10, 20. Okay.
So you think tamasic is giving 10 as well, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So 5 sense objects, tamasic is giving 5 sense objects, and
Rajasic is giving.
Oh, sorry.
5 working senses and knowledge senses.
Working senses and knowledge senses. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So okay. So this 11 here, I'm still not sure, Prabhu. So how are they? This mind, nose, tongue, eye, skin, ear. So they are like mixture of. These are mixture of. Is it like working senses?
Working and knowledge both. So
working and knowledge both mixture.
Yes.
That under 11 of them come under false ego.
So actually in that sloka, if you ask how 11 we should take, that I can say. You're asking you want from the sloka.
How 11 we take.
Yeah, not the process, actually you are asking.
No.
Okay, then I will tell Prabhu 1 second. Because already some elements he covered, so that's why we should minus that. So 1 second.
Sure.
Bhumi rapo analo vayu kam mano buddhi revacha. So in this, what you have to take? First of all, Bhumi rapo analo vayu kam. These 5 gross elements. Bhumi means earth, apa means water, anala means fire, vayu means air, kam means akasha, that means the sky. These 5 you should take automatically to make 24. From these 5 you should take the 5 subtle elements also. Okay.
Yeah.
Then 10 are over. Out of 24, 10 are over. Okay. Next, ahankara. So next, what is there? Ahankara, manobuddhi. So ahankara is there. From the ahankara, you have to take the that means ahankara is also producing what? Remaining things like working senses and knowledge senses. How many total? 10. Okay.
Working sense and knowledge senses.
So 10, and also ahankara's karana. Karana means who is that? Mahat.
Yeah.
So Mahat also should take. Then how many it is? 11. From
okay,
ahankara.
So in this case, we are adding the working senses, knowledge senses, and the Mahat.
Mahat, yes.
So which one? Mahat is mine here, Prabhu?
No. Mahat is not mind. Mind is already mentioned in the sloka.
So the 11 mentioned here were mind, nose, tongue, eye, skin, ear, hands, feet, voice, anus, and genital.
No, we don't need to take the mind here.
Okay.
So you have to take only the 10 senses you should take.
Okay.
And ahankara, that means mahat you should take 11, and ahankara is 12. Total 12, na?
Okay.
And remaining what previously already that pancha mahabhutas, that 5, and their subtle elements 10, another 5. Total how many? 10.
Yes.
10 plus 12, 22.
Yeah.
And buddhi, mind, you can take as a 1. That is mind actually should take. So that mind is nothing but the is a 22 already, or 23, and
Yes.
24 is the prakriti.
Yeah, 24 Prakriti, 25 is Jiva, 27th is Ishvara.
And
Oh no, 26 is Ishvara.
26th is a Ishvara, yes. Yeah, we are not considering here buddhi.
Yeah,
Buddhi and mind we are taking as 1. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will ask Ramchandra Prabhu questions he is raising.
That's fine,
Ramchandra Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. So Prabhu, like this, in the 8th chapter, we are saying that this is basically beginning is when Arjuna asks like how we can remember Krishna, how we can remember Adi Yajna, like
Adi Yajna, yeah, at the time of leaving the body.
at the time of leaving the body.
Mm.
So then we see like Krishna explaining Yoga Mishra Bhakti here.
Yes.
So and then later Kevala Bhakti. So what about like because yoga is basically the meditation, and meditation is like something using remembering same object again and again, trying to remember, right?
Yoga is nothing but the practicing repeatedly remembering the object.
Yeah.
Yoga is practicing of remembering any object repeatedly is known as yoga. So for that we are doing the yama, niyama, and so on. So basic preparation, that is.
The transcendentalist who try to remember Brahman, is that also be considered in the process of remembrance, like they try to remember Brahman or meditate on Brahman? Is that also or no?
That is also a remembrance process, and they will be ultimately get the samadhi of that.
But that is not mentioned in the 8th chapter, because that is like
No. It is a bhakti mishra. It is the yoga mishra. Bhakti is the pradhana here.
So in the case of like somebody is remembering Brahman, they, like that is because it's not mixed with bhakti, so it's out from this chapter. No, I'm saying
it's out from this chapter. That is not the discussion here.
Because we already like these 6 chapters are only for bhakti, like not not.
That is discussed already in the 6th chapter of that in the first 6 chapters.
So like here, like so Yoga Mishra Bhakti and Kevala Bhakti. So means the like how we can basically do the yoga process along with bhakti, like that. Like primary is bhakti and the yoga is helping the bhakti.
Yeah, how to utilize yoga for the how to make yoga as assistant to the bhakti.
So that's the same thing what Dhruv Maharaj did, right? My understanding is like because
yes, that is a pradhani bhuta bhakti. Yes.
Okay, bro. So that's what one question. But the other one was probably like in the 728. Like this verse where basically like we were discussing. So what type of devotee is mentioned in 728? Like this who is like who's sinful activity?
Yeah, this is if you analyze and also Sri Vishwanath Thakur clearly saying. So one who is reducing, that means his papa. How to reduce the papa? So by getting the suffering, that is obvious actually. How the influence of the papa will be papa is reduced by the enjoying, that means by accepting the punishment. As much as you accept punishment, that papa will be cleaned. And after that, one will be, that means fortunately if he comes to the, that means fortunately no. So then what? So by being in the goodness if he does the pious activities. That's why that is the condition. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmana. So by coming in association, because this is the material world is made up of three modes, sometimes passion, sometimes goodness, sometimes ignorance, all they keep on acting. So if he comes in the goodness and he reduced his papa by the punishment, antagatam papam, that means almost all papa is ending, and so he is in goodness and doing the good karma. So this is not sufficient to get the bhakti. So this is not the condition. When he get the association also in that situation, then he will become devotee. Te dvanda moha vinir mukta bhajante mam drudavrataha. That means bhajante mam drudavrataha. Here, what is a unseen thing in this sloka, which is not told by the Krishna? Sadhu Sangha. He didn't say that, but that we should take.
So what kind of devotee are they? Pure devotees or like practicing devotee? Like how do we see this? Like we say like there are 4 sakama bhaktas, like sakam. There are 3 sakama bhakta mentioned, 1 mumukshu mentioned, and 1 Gyan Mishra bhakta mentioned. So like what kind of category we should put this devotee? Like he's what
Association. What kind of devotees association you are saying?
What kind of bhakti you should put him like which category of bhakti? Is it
it's this devotee, what kind of bhakti is going to do? You are asking that?
Yeah, like so you mentioned there are 6 type of devotees mentioned in 7th chapter, right?
Yeah, understood. So now after this, that means association, what kind of bhakti he'll be going to do?
Yes. What kind of bhakti is doing? Yes.
He'll be doing based upon his association. If he got the association of the Karma Mishra Bhakta, he'll be understanding the Karma Mishra Bhakti and he'll be doing that. If he come in contact with the pure devotional service, pure devotee, then he'll be doing the pure devotion.
Oh, according to the depend upon the association. Okay.
Yes, that is a principle. Yeah. That is a decision maker.
Whatever he will be guided by that devotee, that he will basically go in that area.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you. Sure, bro.
Yes, bro. Rukmini Mohan Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanat from Prabhuji.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one thing is like here, Yoga Mishra Bhakti is he's using the yoga process.
Yes, Prabhu.
Like pranayama and all to control the mind.
Yes.
And earlier in the previous chapter, Jnana, when Jnana is used, then it becomes Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So the person is doing Jnana sadhana in order, along with Bhakti, right?
Yes.
So if the person is having problems in the, he's in Bhakti and he is struggling, right? And he takes help of these things, then he will no longer be doing Kevala Bhakti, right?
Yes.
So in these cases, when he's struggling, then he should take shelter of the process of pure devotion service. He should not take.
Hare Krishna. Bro, your voice is off.
Puji, am I audible now?
Now it's okay, bro. Last sentence, 2 sentences missed.
Huh?
Last 2 sentences missed.
Sorry, Puji. If someone is someone came to Bhakti and he is struggling with the mind and all.
Yeah.
So in that case, we should not recommend him doing anything other than Bhakti. So like if he's struggling and we sometimes we just say that if the person is too much struggling, then if pranayama is recommended or any other thing is recommended, so that will be like against the principles of Bhakti, right?
That means if you principle of the pure devotional service, so is against the principle of the pure devotional service, because we are mixing the pure devotional service, but also yukta vairagya is mentioned whenever there is a gnana and vairagya. We are taking the support because their Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, of course, gnana and vairagya are not cause for the bhakti, but initially they may be little bit is used. You understood? You remember that point in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? He says for the entrance, for entry point, one may use. He says. So that's why on the principle of that yukta vairagya. So just he understood the pure devotional service and he is ready to do that. but only for the moment, that means just for the beginning, if he uses that in initial stages. So that can be done, but he has to turn to this consciousness only. That means bhakti is independent of everything, and because you see, in the understanding is okay, but one is also what I want to say, how much he is able to follow that. Shraddha is have that much on the bhakti. That is the decision maker. Na? So Vaidhi Bhakti, what is the pure devotion service? That is Vaidhi Bhakti is also pure devotion service. What is the qualification? Shraddha. The way the Shraddha, we have the strong Shraddha, then he is not dependent on anything actually. He will not see it as a problem actually. You are understanding, no problem. So very strong Shraddha is have, then even he will not feel something other thing, I should go and take the shelter. He's have full Shraddha in the Bhakti. Then that is pure devotion. But Kapil Bhagavan says one may not get that kind of strong Shraddha. Then they have to do the other means. They have to do the karma also. Like Kanishtas, they are then. They are Kanishtas. And because we cannot force them into Shraddha, na? Shraddha is not a forced thing actually. They have to realize and they have to come. So that's why we have to accommodate them and raise them their Shraddha. Yeah, otherwise he will be out actually. Because he is not able to also have that much Shraddha and dependent on the bhakti like that. If he has full Shraddha, then he's fully dependent on the bhakti. That is Sharanagati. Sharanapatti will be obvious. And he's not having that Shraddha means then you have to facilitate them. So, okay, you do that. But he should understand that this is not pure devotion. I have lacking in my Shraddha and I have to improve. That he should understand.
Yes, Priji.
Then he's
And
the right
another
track. Yeah.
Another thing is, when in case of service, when we try to learn something,
yeah,
which is not like according to the not in the pure devotion service, but like some other thing, like we have different courses in ISKCON also, like teacher training and leadership and all.
Yes.
So when we are learning that, does it also comes like we are compromising pure devotion service? We are like, it is also a kind of like trying to get kind of siddhi. So like, how to see that?
Yes, Prabhu. So this is also definitely it is not, we can say, actually my understanding is it's not pure devotional service. because you see, because we have the so for example, we are planning something, that means some leadership and some skills. We are trying to give some skills in the people, so just for the betterment of this people's level actually. So for that, whatever the skills are given, like example, Varnashrama college, we say. So we are trying to organize the Varnashrama and the college, and we are giving the skills, various skills, like someone has the potter, and someone has the Kshatriya, someone has Brahmana, someone some like that. So all these activities, what it will be. So because we want to organize the society, we want to like if all we stay together, all the devotees, someone has to select, everyone has to select the different share the some body. Since we are still in the body, we need some necessities, and the like cloth we need, some food we need, shelter we need. So one cannot do that. Communally we should be, social life is needed. So then at that time, so we will be sharing the whole work among us, and so that we'll maintain our body and practice the bhakti. And also we will organize that means that society, because maybe that means everyone is, there is always chance to need of the justice. There is a need of justice, because maybe sometimes unwanted people, unwanted things also may come. Someone has to monitor also, administration also is needed. So now we are utilizing all these skills. So to organize the devotees association in a systematic manner. So now we are giving these skills to the people. So then what? This is the question now, Prabhu. So how to see these skills? Yeah. So in that case, it is if you see pure devotional service, yes, like Rupa Goswami will go and stay under this tree, and we will not bother about the jivika, our life. That means our daily maintenance. And that is highest actually, definitely, yes. All the time doing the 24 hours, the service only. That can be done. And also, someone can do these things as a karma minister bhakti, it will become otherwise. That means, because still he's having the dependency on all these other things. So that's why he's doing that some particular duties are regulated activities. It's nothing but karma and doing the bhakti. So then that is a kind of the karma minister bhakti, but one is raising his consciousness. At that time, he is doing the karma also, but he is not thinking that this karma is going to maintain me, like Nishkama Karma Yoga. He is doing the karma, but still he is not attached and he is not affected by the results of that karma. Similarly, he is doing some sort of particular activities, but he is raising his consciousness such a way. So, like Arjuna's case is still also. Just to set example, he is doing, but he is fully dependent on the bhakti only. So like that, he can raise the consciousness. At that time, then what is happening? So that karma is not Mishra actually then. He's doing the pure devotional service only. But externally he may look, he's doing the karma. But others case, externally they are having the feeling of this karma is needed for me. Then that is becoming the, for them it is a karma Mishra bhakti. So it depends upon the consciousness.
Really, like in our case, like if we are like, let's do, it was like when giving skills. Now let's see, like if I'm suffering in my service, I'm not able to do it properly. And to improve that service, if I try to learn something,
yes,
in that case, like I'm not bothered about the community, making a community. I'm just learning that thing because my service is not proper. So I want to improve my service, and for that I go for that one. So in that case, how to see that? Like
now only just improvement of the service example. Can you take an example? Then it will be more clear.
Like take a general example, like teacher training course. So I am not able to do the courses properly. So I'm taking the course and teacher training course, and then I'm giving the courses. And similarly, like in administration, some leadership courses are there, like Adutampu and all are giving.
Yes.
So I took that, and then I try to improve the service.
Yes.
So these things.
Yes.
Or sometimes like like relevant things, like
yes,
these.
Yes, I understood. So these skills.
Or maybe we can go a little extreme, like if I'm doing a scientific preaching, then learning like little bit of science arguments to defeat the general myths in the audience.
Yes.
So that's one of the things, like going little far.
Yes. Far from the Krishna consciousness, bit far. Yeah.
Even far from the Vedic boundaries of the Sanatana Dharma.
Yes.
So how like how to fit those in the system, or is it really compromising too much?
Jnana karma janavritam. So for example, yeah, so those actually the karma mishra, this kind of thing, when it will come, when we think uh, uh, karma is necessary. The karma means what? Some kind of other than the bhakti, if you consider that as needed actually. Other than the, that means direct bhakti, is something is needed, some activity, then that is nothing but the mishra, that is mixing actually. That so that is a fundamental principle, and just out of compassion to deliver the scientists also, then we are learning their things, and we are convincing them, just to convince them, we are learning their field. So then in that case, or otherwise, just so example, one by one will go. So then how that is uh, how that is I think it is not any there is a compassion is only, no, is drive. What is the drive of this? So
Drive is like we will not even have a common topic if I don't learn those things.
Yeah,
So I'll be speaking something else and he won't be able to understand anything. There will be no correlation.
yes. So that's why ultimately drive is compassion only, no? That means we want to save them, and that's why we are learning that, and we are arguing or whatever. So ultimate whole and soul is compassion for them. So it's not that we have the desire of we are not making that learning is important for the bhakti. It's not a supporting of the bhakti, just to convince them and help them. And that is what is that drive is compassion towards the other living entity. So then it is pure devotional service. It will not become, it will not break the principle of pure devotional service. Okay.
And if I see like learning Sanskrit to read the Acharya's commentary, or maybe like sometimes like this also comes that we need Shardashan also, basic knowledge in order to understand the Vedanta Sutras, all these things, they all, what about them?
So they will not break actually, definitely, because we are just we are not making them as supporters of the bhakti. We are just to get the deeper meanings of the text actually. Sanskrit we are making the supporting for the understanding of the text only, not the bhakti actually. So by this only my bhakti improved. So that consciousness is there, then that is a impurity is coming in that. Just that we are seeing as a skill only, not seeing the supporter of the bhakti. So seeing the skill, then what will happen? So just why that skill is needed? Just to the particular task. So just to understand the language. So then in that case, it's not a impurity is not there actually. It's comes under the pure devotion only. My understanding this is.
Okay, Fuji. I think like in the answer to Ramcharan Prabhu's answer, you said that Dhruv Maharaj was doing Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti.
Yeah.
So I know that because he was not having the pure desire.
Yes.
And then because of Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, how come he get purified? Because Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, like his desires got fulfilled, and at the same time, because of the Bhakti element, he got purified.
Yeah,
Just
bhakti
clarify.
element yes. Bhakti element purifies his consciousness, and finally he got the he was not wanting also. He became desireless. That means he was, even that material desire is ichcha pidanam. That means he's completely cleaned actually. That is so that's why karma mishra bhaktas also, they can go to the salokya mukti. That means they are uplifted from this material world. That means That's nothing but purifying. But only why they are not able to go to the Goloka? So the thing, they are not having the Raganuga Bhakti. That element is not there. That's why. Yeah, but otherwise purification definitely will happen. Yeah.
And a non-devotee, does he have the potential to do offenses like Vaishnava Aparadha and like second offense, fourth offense, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, Namapradas?
Yeah, fourth, that means blaspheming Vedic literature. Yes, it can be.
Yeah.
Because that's
Giving
knowing or unknowing is wrong only, because even in India, so if you blaspheme the constitution, is knowing, unknowingly or knowingly, it is a punishment only. So like that. But Dauratmita, that means knowing also doing means more punishment. That is even in the karma, in the face of karma also, after doing the knowing that means it's sinful, I'll do prayaschitta, and if you do that same sin, then you'll be getting more punishment. That is a rule actually. So knowingly if they do, so then they'll be getting the more effect. That offense is more deep actually. So next, for fifth offense is the giving that means some interpretation. That means not yeah. So then not interpretation, imagination. That means
imagination.
Imagination. That means exaggeration or imagination. So this is obvious. It will happen in a non-devotee's case. This is a very frequent. Non-devotees only they do this. They hear the glories of the bhakti and they say that, oh, what is this? What this bhakti will do, like that. So that's obvious. And sixth is giving some wrong interpretation. That means kalpanika. That means that is also possible in the non-devotee's case very easily. And committing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name bhakti. So this is they may not do this, because non-devotees means they don't understand the glory. So that's why they may not use bhakti to clean. That means I will clean my sins by the bhakti. So that there is less chance actually for them. They will not do actually, non-devotees. Or otherwise, if they heard bhakti is also atonement, they may do the combinedly 8 and 7. That means understanding that bhakti is one of the process to clean the sins. They may got that kind of idea and keep on using that for the cleaning their sins. There is also in that kind, if they got that kind of wrong information about the bhakti, and if they started using that, so maybe they studied in some other scriptures also by chanting that means Ramanama, so your sins will be gone. If that kind of association they got and they keep on using that, then they can do the 7th offense also. They are not devotees, but they are using that. And 8th offense is most common. Non-devotees only they do that. Yeah. And 9th is devotees case. 9th Ashraddha, there's no preaching to that, means giving about the glories telling about the glories of the Lord towards the faithless person. That is devotees, they preach. Non-devotees, they don't preach. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Punyashlok, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, 2 questions. One is that kind of devotee which is mentioned in the Buddhi Yoga section from verse 39 to Nishkam Karma Yoga, you can say. Is that what kind of devotee is that? Is that Karma Mishra Bhakta?
In where Nishkam Karma? Prabhu, can you come again?
39, when Buddhi Yoga starts. Lord Krishna starts about Buddhi Yoga.
2nd chapter?
2nd chapter, Prabhu.
Sloka number?
So starting from 39, it goes to 43 or 53, sorry. So that whole section, he's talking about, which is a Karma Mishra Bhakta being talked about, because definitely not Jnana, because at that point, Lord Krishna is still saying, do your duty and not be attached to the results.
So this is the Aropa Siddha Bhakti. So do your duty and give the results. And he is not asking to do the bhakti. So offer their everything to me. That is known as Aropa Siddha Bhakti.
So Aropa Siddha Bhakti, you do your duty and offer the results to me.
Yeah.
And that leads to where, Prabhu? That leads to either way?
Nishkam karma. That is Nishkam karma yoga. That is leading to, that is purifying the heart. So doing the karma and giving the result to the Lord, just to come out from the result of that karma, from the bondage of that karma. So that is known as Arabsiddha Bhakti. So that is nothing but the Nishkam karma yoga. That is the process of Nishkam karma. That will purify the heart.
So at this stage, Karma Mishra Bhakti hasn't even started yet.
No. Karma Mishra Bhakti is what? So one has to do the Shravanam Kirtan, that means Sarupa Siddha Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtan, Ishtu Swarana Padasevanam are the 64 leaves. So he has to do that primarily and just making karma as supporter. So that is didn't start here actually in these chapters.
Okay. Because it's Gita summarized, so that's why I thought it's maybe if it's because it's a summary of the whole Gita. So where that Karma Mishra fits here, because the next section talks about a Sthita Pragya. So who is what category does he falls under?
When that Karma Mishra Bhakti, Nishkam Karma Yogi, so when his heart is purified, then he is able to become equal to all the dualities, pain and pleasure, win and loss, and for all these things he'll become equal. That means not affected by any of these and situated in the mode of goodness. And
so even the Bhakti hasn't started.
No. That is not no. That is in the Gnana platform only.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But the Bhakti hasn't started yet because he's just getting purified at this stage.
Yes. He's just cleaning his heart through the Nishkam Karma Yoga. So that is the result, side result. That is the result of the Nishkam Karma Yoga.
Okay. So these qualities are already there for someone to say practicing Karma Mishra Bhakta. At what stage? Has he already gone through that stage of purifying and then he started?
No. Karma Mishra Bhakta, he came in association of devotees. Nishkam Karma Yoga is not qualification for becoming Karma Mishra. Only association of devotees is the cause.
Okay. And that can start anytime, anywhere, by any.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu. And one more, Prabhu. This is verse number, today's chapter, 8th chapter, verse 5. Lord Krishna mentions, whoever at the time of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. So that's Srila Prabhupada's purport, the way he puts it. Oh, not purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
And nature. And in Baladev Vidyabhushan commentary, he writes that he who remembers me attains my nature or like mine, which means with 8 qualities. Those 8 qualities are: he becomes sinless, ageless, deathless, without grief, without hunger, without thirst, blissful, and his desires are instantly fulfilled.
Yeah.
Can you just a little bit explain this?
My nature means I already Adhyatma I said, na? So today I was explaining Adhyatma. Yes. That means Adhyatma means it's a spiritual nature or the material nature. That means the subtle body. That means that Jivatma, anyway, it is pure. So it is getting the spiritual body actually, which is like the Lord's body is also out of the Swarupa Shakti, and Jivatma is also given body which is made up of this. Made up of means is manifested out of this Swarupa Shakti of the Lord, internal potency of the Lord. So that's why his nature he is saying.
So, but I was just talking about this, that I understand, bro. Just these qualities. So sinless, obviously, because it's sinless, there's no chance of sin. That's not.
No Maya.
Ageless, eternal.
Ageless in the spiritual world, there is no influence of the time. So that's why there is no ageless.
So over here is and his desires are instantly fulfilled. So does that mean, obviously, there is no question of material desires once you're in the spiritual world or in spiritual consciousness? It's only pure spiritual desires.
Yes.
So say, for example, can we say in Goloka, the desire for one of the cowherd boy is to get ripe, sweetest mango for Krishna. So his desire is to get that, and what he will just get it, and then he can offer it to Krishna. Is that what does it mean by his desires are instantly fulfilled?
Actually, so of course, in spiritual world also, everyone will be like, is a mango tree is there on the mango is there on the mango tree. So they will be like in the middle world. So how they are climbing and getting the same way. So that is a love actually. So otherwise, everything is just a robotic way. So there is no love actually. So they will be also climbing. Of course, every tree is a desire tree, but I heard somewhere actually this about the spiritual world. So, but they don't get like that actually. So they are taking their own. That means endeavor, and for Krishna they are bringing out and giving to him. I mean, by their own endeavor, so they get that mango and give.
So this is more Lokia, you mean, maybe, or something like that, where they're on the same planet with the Lord, and
Yeah,
they're maybe Vaikuntha. It doesn't apply to so much to Vrindavan, because everything is spontaneous there.
Yes, yes.
But it maybe applies more to Vaikuntha planets, where they already have the form of the Lord.
Yes, yes. Because there is no this kind of relation. So there you can see this kind of things. It's like Sarishti. That means there you need only just the things, opulences. Where there is no bhava, that means like loving relations and spontaneous relations are not there. So then those kind of trees are possible. These kind of desire trees. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it can be fulfilled. Yes. And Prabhu, this is, I've asked you, the actual soul has a form, but what in your, because you've done at what form is it? Like, is it
This is the debate. Everyone tries to, because it's infinitely small. Keshagra satabhagasya satada kalpitasya.
That we all
And
agree.
also still, if we expect some form of the, means many people, they ask this question. Even Satyanarayana's Babaji also writing. So soul is not having any form or nothing, just it is given with the form. So that is a spirit. So, but if you see Paramatma Sandarbha, there actually Acharya is explaining. So some abilities are there. Gnatritvam, Kartrutvam, Bhoktrutvam. So this kind, that means Gnatritvam means knowingness and doingness, and Bhoktrutvam means enjoying. This kind of qualities are there in that soul. So, but any shape of that soul is not mentioned.
Okay.
Shape is not mentioned. Jamatri Muni, so he was writing. Yeah.
It is there, it exists. Obviously, it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know the shape, but there has to be, because it's a form. We are living form. We are not formless. So in that way, I'm saying,
and that infinitely small, so hands, legs.
So in this, obviously, in this material world, we are a soul. We have a material body, which is big or small or whatever.
Out of karma, we are getting the shapes.
Yes. 8,400,000 species of bodies are there already, and we get whatever we have. Now, in the spiritual world also, is it like we, the soul, the spiritual body which we get, is it the body which we get and we are still the soul, or we become the body as the soul? Like, we not, you know what I mean? We say always we get a spiritual body, body.
Yes, bro, I understood.
I've also heard that we also have mind and intelligence and senses, which are all spiritual in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And you think that we serve Krishna and the things. So how to understand the whole thing?
Yeah. So this physical body, how we have, that may be based upon the karma. So based upon the type of the relationship we develop with the Lord. So we will be based upon that bhava. So we'll be getting the spiritual body, which is out of the Swarupa Shakti. And but still the Jivatma is Tatastha Shakti. It cannot become this Swarupa Shakti.
Okay, so so it's like just like we have a material body now, in the spiritual we have a spiritual body.
Yeah,
And
this is
we are and we have our consciousness. We always have consciousness that cannot be separated. And we have here we have material subtle body. Over
material
there
sense.
we have spiritual subtle body, which it's same, but it's just here material, over there is spiritual. That's all.
Yeah, spiritual senses we have there.
Yes. But if someone asks about form, it's like, ask me when I take Gita classes, someone asked me about the like, okay. He said, but it has to have some form. It's like, but I said, okay, it's an energy. So where I was able to convince him was, okay, it's energy. It's like electricity. You can feel it there. It's not there.
Yes.
But that energy is actually
when it goes to the spiritual world, then that is eternal actually for that Jivatma. Then it's not like the leaving that and going. So then that is permanent for it. So that is like you see the sun, like the sun ray, which is coming out, that photon, maybe the small particle. So is now separated when it is the ray coming out. But when it is there inside the sun, also there is a sun photons are there, rays. So those are all considered as a sun only. So when Jivatma is inside of that means spiritual world, so then that is considered as is non-different from the Swarupa Shakti. One way in that you'll be seeing this point in some places. So like that, then there is everything is one only, like that Swarupa Shakti, like that we treat. But still there is a difference. That's achintya. There will be a break. Achintya. Finished. We cannot explain everything actually. That's right.
No. Prabhu, one super last one, that's it, because it's also 1:30 here in the morning. But anyways, just one last 2.47, Prabhu. So I've got my definition for that one, but I just wanted to check with you if the way I'm explaining is the proper way. 2.47. Okay, here we go. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Yes.
So the way I've got it is, I divided into 4 parts. Part 1 is we only have the right to perform action, our prescribed duty. So that's our free will, which is given. We can either choose to do or not to do our prescribed duty.
Yes.
And even not doing your duty is an action, which will be, that's explained in point 4. So then part 2 is we are not entitled to the fruits of action. Why we are not entitled? Someone may say, oh, this, so then we say, like, for example, a laborer. A laborer works very hard to build a house. So because he's built a house, doesn't matter that house, doesn't mean that house belongs to him. So he's been given the raw material and everything to build that house. So similarly, we, the souls, we have been given these bodies. This is not our body. Everything is supplied to us, and we work for it. So, but all this belongs to the owner, which is Krishna. So the fruits also, which are gained from this work, actual owner could be Krishna, not us. So in that sense, we can say that we are not entitled to the fruits. It's Krishna. But the pay, say for example, someone may ask, oh, but the laborer gets his pay. So we can say, okay, someone asked this question, what do we get? What is our pay? So our pay is purification of consciousness. That by performing that duty, or whatever our duty is, and giving the results to Krishna, then he is the only entitled for the result. But by doing so, our consciousness is getting purified. That is our pay.
Yeah, that is written. You are saying written. That is written.
No, so it says there we are not entitled to the fruits of action. So that's how I explained. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Explanation? Huh?
Yeah. So that means here it is actually it is a preaching of the Nishkam Karma Yoga. He is preaching Nishkam Karma Yoga here. So what he is saying, because one may not have the full relationship. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that kind of consciousness he might not be having. He may not know the Swarupa of the Bhakti also. Nishkam Karma Yogi is not expected to know the Swarupa of the Bhakti. So just what is his desired thing? He want to get out from the bondage of this karma. That means he doesn't want to get any entanglement from the karma. That much only he has the consciousness. So for that he has to, what he has to do? So he has to offer that to the, that means Shastra is saying, if you don't want to get any result, then you should offer that to the Vishnu. So that's why with that sense only he is offering to the Vishnu. So by that, what is happening? He is not getting any bondage of doing that karma and the result of that.
It says that you are not entitled. So he's making a point. He's claiming that you are not entitled.
Yes, yes.
So to explain someone says, how I'm working? Why am I not entitled? I am working.
Yes.
So from that point of view, I was saying,
and also one should also not claim that I am the doer of this. That means, and also I am the cause of the result of this. So that also you should not entitle. He's saying, what karma phala hetu ma. That means ma karma phala hetu. That means one should not consider himself as the cause for the result of that karma. That means he will not. Entitled.
Because ultimately it's all being done by the three modes, which will come later.
Yes, yes.
But at this point of time, like to explain, so I can add that there as well. So, but the way I explained was that.
Yeah, that's good, bro. Yes, bro. Fine.
And then the part 3 was never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. So that's where this third point will come, that usually, this is why, because the actual work is done by the modes.
Yes.
And your body is under a certain mode and you will automatically act in a certain way. You're forced to act in a certain way. So don't consider yourself to be the cause. Like, so in that way I can explain. And they also, in this part also, they seek temporary results which leads to suffering of birth, and they don't think, okay, no, that's fine. And the last one, Prabhu, part 4 of this one, never be attached to not doing your duty. So that is where, to avoid reaction, if we don't do our duty, we will actually still get the reaction. Because it's like, I can give the example of a doctor. If there is a patient dying in front of the doctor and doctor says, I'm not going to do anything, and if he dies, he will actually get punishment. He will say, but I didn't kill him. I didn't do anything. Well, exactly. That's the point. You didn't do anything. You were a doctor. In this case, Arjuna is a warrior, Kshatriya. He didn't do it. It's his duty. And then he will get sinful reaction for that.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
Ramcharan Prabhu. So.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry, it's too late. Like, can I ask, because I think it's really late.
Yeah. It's a quick question or the?
Yeah, it's a very quick. So, I think it skipped from my mind, bro.
Okay, bro. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So thank you.
Here from a long time now, suddenly just gone from.
Okay, bro.
I'll ask tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Thank you very much. So Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhuvesya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Thank you, Prabhu.